And we are live, everybody. What is going on? This be your boy Scotty by Nature TV. Y'all can
What's
introduce
up?
yourselves one by one.
I'm Josiah. What's up, you guys?
Mm. Yeah, so I'm y'all real. I guess I'm gonna go be going by Yocrates now, since that's what y'all done dubbed me. So that's who I am. That's what it is. What we doing?
It's your girl Bondi Blue. What's up? Y'all already know what it is.
What's good, everybody?
Okay.
It's me, Real Realty. What's happening? My bad.
You good. Hey y'all, it's Nisi Dixon. I got my tequila tonight. Let's go ahead and talk about it.
Okay. Hi guys, it's Jamie.
Hey,
That's me. What's up?
And before we get into this whole panel, this whole discussion, everybody that's up here, let's just put our glasses in at one time before we even start this shit. Everybody just put it up. Just put your glasses in the air. Because everybody got one. Everybody put your glasses in the air. And let's make a toast to this fucking season finally being over. Everybody can attest to it. Everybody, we glad that this shit is over.
Praise him.
We are glad. We are happy that this is over. Take a sip. Cause
Hallelujah.
y'all don't understand the stress y'all have put us through. I don't know where to
Whew.
start right about now. I don't know where to
Ciao.
start right now. So I guess before we even get into the show itself, I guess we could just start off with Monique announcing that she quit the show. I guess we could start off with that first, and then it'll take us right on into what we're here to talk about. Oh, and by the way, for y'all in the comment section, don't start y'all disrespectful shit because y'all will get kicked out. Just letting y'all know that. However, let's start off with whoever want to start off first. Y'all can go ahead. Y'all know I always go last and let y'all go first with what y'all feel. So as far as Monique quitting the show, I guess I can let the ladies go first and y'all can discuss that.
I'll go. So, Monique quitting the show. I was only surprised because just a couple days ago she said that she got her contract, right? Now, it makes perfect sense to me that she's going to leave the show on her own terms because based on what I saw at the reunion, I felt like production was no longer in her favor because she wasn't really going with the flow the way that Andy wanted her to. So, in my opinion, it's in her best interest to go ahead and leave on her own terms. So that's how I feel about it. I would have liked to see her for season 6, but yeah, I think she left at the right time.
Yeah, I agree with Nisi. I definitely wasn't expecting Monique to quit. It, like you said, because she got the contract, but it also made me wonder what type of contract was presented to her that made her ultimately decide that she's not going to be there. Did she get a friend contract, or was it her husband putting his foot down, saying that this show is not, healthy for our family, so you need to just take a step back?
Okay. I personally feel like it was the only option. After I watched the reunion, I literally went to her live and I was like, why are you going back? Before I even knew what was going on. Because she was actually telling people that she wasn't coming back. And I was just like, why are you going back? Don't do that. Like, because I just found that it was so one-sided, and it'd be different if they had actually given, like, I feel like the full story, and then maybe we still felt how we felt, and that's fine. But I felt like in the way it was presented and the way Andy kept going at her, I mean, to me it put it at a whole nother level for why do I deal with this, because this is a little check. And to be honest, with the release of her essential oil line, the release of the video, like all at the same time, it was the perfect moment to just say, you know what, I'm done, and back out. I also feel like there have been like whisperings that something might be going on behind the scenes with her and like Nene and some of the other disgraced housewives who, have started this whole cancel Bravo thing. And I've always kept it in the back of my mind because I do feel like Bravo and other networks like it devalue Black people in reality TV and put us to a different standard than they do the white counterparts. The white counterparts don't make them as much money, yet they get all the respect. So I do feel like that's always in the back of my mind. And I hope that from this, something else will come. Because honestly, with what Bravo is giving us right now, like, this wasn't a win to me.
I think that she made the best decision to leave the series because let's break it down a little bit. So number one, who is she going to film with other than Karen? Because we know that Ashley adds flip flop between both, and then the other ladies is not going to want to film with her. So I think it is the best decision for her to leave. And also, I could already tell watching that reunion, the way how her husband Chris was cutting up too, they was over it. She already knew she was going to come back before the reunion ended. So I'm happy for her. Good. She can go and move on because next season would have been all about ganging up on Monique. But now that Monique is gone, they're about to get on Karen's ass.
So what I'll say is, in reference to what them not wanting to film with her, well, one, that's definitely doable, especially if we sit here and we hold Andy to the fire. Like I said, I just started watching New Jersey. I think I'm on season 4. And if we go from the season 1 to season 2, Danielle didn't film with the whole entire cast for the majority of the season. Met up with them at a posh party, and then maybe film with like 3 people individually, but she had her own thing going on. So if Monique wanted to, she could theoretically do that, even though they did not offer her that grace on this particular season. Also, with this whole fight thing, I'm gonna be honest with y'all, like I'm tired of hearing about it, only due to the fact of you had Teresa physically touch the executive producer on the reunion of part 1. So she done sat here, shook a table, flip a table. She got in Danielle's face. She almost tried to run after Danielle and then physically push Andy in his chair. And now he said, like, don't do that again. But he even laughed about like it was something cute. Like, you just put your hands on the EP. But there was no type of reprimand for that. But he let her come back. And even though I haven't gotten there yet, she went to jail and she came back to the season. Well, came back to, the franchise. So that whole thing, I'm pretty sure that Monique had that as a bargaining chip. But I think that she probably decided not to come back, more than likely based off of how they edited the reunion. Because they sat there for 11 hours. I can't believe that they showed us everything. Like, I know there is a lot that was left, especially when we saw that I'm jumping ahead slightly, but stuff that was left on the editing floor that they just so happened to bless us with during part 3 leads me to believe there's a lot that was said during the reunion, probably that was going to air out some other people, and they just chose not to show it. And I think that's probably why she did it. And I mean, hey, it's a boss move where it's like, I'm gonna wait on my contract. Okay, I have my contract. Yeah, I'm not coming back. So at least that way she holds the power and say, oh, I got my contract. Come back.
And that's another interesting discussion. We have to really call Andy out on the biasness and the bullshit that he was, doing this reunion, because I didn't like how, if you're going to host a reunion, hold both parties accountable. Not just, you can clearly tell that he was not here for Monique, which is fine. I could say the same thing for Candace, but you need to hold both parties accountable, because he looked so damn one-sided, and it was not a good look for Andy. I don't know what was going on with him. I don't know if he just went to the wrong track or what was going on, but it was not it.
It was the booger.
It was like he wasn't there. It was like he missed the whole season.
Yeah.
Nah, it was clear that Andy, I don't feel like there was confusion. I feel like Andy had one agenda when he came out there, and it wasn't in favor. I don't feel like it was in favor of the viewers. I felt like it was him being a boss. He almost had that energy, like, on Basketball Wives, anytime Shaunie is around, it's like how do you act in front of your boss? Like your boss can check
Niecy,
and you can't really say nothing back. That's the energy he was
I
giving.
said the exact same thing in my live. I was like, the whole thing gave Shawnee last season in Basketball Wives, where you kind of partake in the messiness, but then you still want to be able to be considered an executive producer. It was definitely, to me, a real representation of bias, the way y'all call us bias, okay?
It was definitely biased, and he needs to really just look at this reunion and take notes, because he have done past reunions, and I have never seen him so biased in this particular reunion. So
But I think he was. I think where the bias really came in is the look check comment. I think that's what turned it all around, and when he went from being somewhat unbiased to just gunning for her because she said that. But I've yet to see him say that to any of the other women on the other franchises where they either have their own money or their husbands got money. He ain't never came at them like that.
And why be offended when that is what this show is about? It is literally about opulence, about rich women living about their everyday lives. So the idea that we're going to be mad at Monique for being like, oh no, like this little check ain't nothing compared to the money my family actually has. Like that's what the show is supposed to be about. So the fact that he was even offended by that, to me, shows that he has gotten a bigger head since he's become the forefront of the franchise.
To add to that, I was trying to let somebody else say something, but I feel like Andy was upset. I don't feel like he was offended. Well, he was offended by the little check, but I don't feel like that was his drive. I think his drive was that he expected the conversation with Monique to go a certain way. He expected her to get on stage and pretty much follow all the protocol in order to be back in good graces, in order to have his cast whole again. And because Monique was being difficult and wasn't willing to basically get spanked on national TV, that's what I kept saying, he was frustrated. I really feel like Andy wanted to really get her to follow those steps. Do this, cry, apologize, hug, next. He wanted her to do that. She didn't want to do that. So he was like, okay, bet, I'm going to show you.
Okay, real quick before I forget. My whole thing is, if that was the case, why did he not agree that it had happened? To me, the thing that killed me was the whole time he kept saying the plot never happened. The plot never happened. It wasn't on TV. And it was it was very much on the television when Giselle did her confessionals. And that paired with Candace's live, I don't care what anybody says, I was fucking there. Okay. I was there on Instagram the day Candace went live. That was the first time we had ever heard about this plot for real. I had never heard about it for real, to pay attention to it until Candace got on the live and was like, okay, so they plotted. And there was some other plot, ish things that happened. And then to turn around and be like, Monique is so narcissistic. How can she think we were plotting on her? And then Andy gets up there and continues to say that it didn't happen to not only Monique, but Chris, and never ran her Instagram video, but you ran Chris's response to her Instagram video. To me, it almost seemed like Niecy said, that he came out there already with his mind made up about the way he wanted this to go. And honestly, I don't know if Monique groveling would have been enough, because I felt like, they had already kind of cut her out of the season. So the time where she was crying about this, y'all didn't cover it. And now we're a whole year later and you want her to cry about it. But then when she does cry, we say that it's fake. So I just kind of feel like I don't know what anybody wants at this point. I'm just glad she didn't allow them to punk her.
And you made a really good point right there, Bonnie, because it has, we cannot forget that it has been over a year since this whole situation incident happened. So maybe in Monique's defense, it has already happened. She already cried on national TV to her pastor or whatever. And shit, you get tired of talking about it. Hell, I know they're damn tired of talking about this fight, and we tired of talking about it. We only did a few episodes. So yeah.
Terrence, I want to let you say something before I say anything.
Girl, listen. If y'all want my honest opinion, My honest opinion.
Clearly we up here talking.
Okay.
Clearly,
My honest opinion is Andy can choke on a dick at a glory hole for all I can care. I don't give a damn two citrus fucks about Andy Cohen no more at this point. He completely pissed me off and he
no,
completely
we're not
dropped the ball on.
necessarily talking about Andy. We're talking about
I'm
her quitting the
talking about
show.
Andy
Andy was just
because
mentioned.
I don't like the way Andy.
Well, you go ahead.
You hear me? Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah? Okay. I'm talking about how Andy conducted himself at this reunion completely pissed me off. I didn't like the way he was setting up there, really trying to basically help Giselle gaslight this narrative about Monique. I didn't like the way he came at Chris. I applaud Chris for how he kept his composure the way that he did. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm just I don't know. Every time I talk about them, I get a headache. Lord have mercy, Jesus.
Well, I'll come in, and since this is frustrating for Mr. Terrence, I will come in and say what I have to say in regards to her quitting the show. Now, I already did, I already did a video before we even went live about her quitting the show, and this is my honest opinion about that situation. I feel like she really didn't have no other choice but to quit the show at this point because at the end of the day, um, the dynamic is pretty much bruised at this point, and it's one of them bruises where it's really nothing you can do to heal it at this point. I mean, Candace ain't gonna film with you. You done put your hands on her, so she don't want to fuck with you no more. Rightfully so. Pulled out a binder on Giselle, and we already know that she ain't gonna wanna you know what I'm saying, film those scenes with you. Robin gonna go with whatever Giselle go with, and Wendy is like a wild card. So at this point, it's just like, what else could she really do at this point? You know, really, like, what could she do? Go ahead,
Okay, I just
Bungie.
want to ask: Has anybody else heard that Robin didn't receive a contract?
I didn't hear anything
Yeah.
about Robin.
Mm-mm.
I didn't hear nothing.
I haven't.
Okay, so somebody put it in my comments either on Instagram and live or on Charlotte probably wasn't on the video because I don't read those comments. It was probably on Instagram live, but said that Robin was the only one that had not received her contract. So I'm interested to know and find out if that is true because Robin went hard to keep that little check, girl.
What is Giselle without a minion? I can't.
Right, Giselle definitely need her little minion. Robin ain't going nowhere, unfortunately. I mean, shit, it would be nice if y'all demote her to a friend, but sis ain't going nowhere.
She
Yeah,
should be
I
friends to the
just at
show.
this point,
She should be a friend to the
that's
show.
how
I
I
just
feel
wanted to
too.
say that. Yeah, like Jamie said, maybe they gave her a contract, but the contract was friend to the show. You know, maybe.
Because she didn't really have anything to talk about. I mean, other than, you know, the end of the season, which was what, they had Robin segment, y'all, the last 15 minutes of the damn episode.
It's
She just didn't
literally
have
in my
nothing to
notes.
provide commentary.
It was
She just
literally in my
provided-
notes. Lil segment, Robin Lil
Right.
segment.
I didn't even want to mention it. I'm like, okay, my review already at 36 minutes. Do I want to make it 40 by talking about Robin? I was like, probably not.
Right, exactly. The Robin tab is empty, honey, in the binder. Empty.
Look, you know what? In reference to this, I only have one thing to say, people. I am so glad that Juan Dixon is not. I'm done.
She said that with fear. She was like, I'm so glad that Juan Dixon is not here. Like, Juan was
And it was weird because Chris's energy wasn't even in that same space. So the way she was screaming it out, I am so glad. I was just like,
Wait, it wasn't just that though, but when she said the first time, no reaction. She said the second time, no reaction. And that's when she put that bass in her voice and everybody still just kind of like,
Woo, God, the stud came out real quick. I'm so glad that Robin Dixon ain't in the building.
Somebody said they're really mad that I got on this shirt in the comments. I know I'm trolling y'all. It's working. Thank you.
No, here go another good comment. Robin need a moment, Dixon. That was her moment, y'all. She was like, I need my little splice for preview so y'all can think I was really turned up on something.
In the words of Jackie Christie, she needed a moment.
The only thing I saw the whole time was that fucking hair, y'all. That hair was killing me the whole time.
I don't know if it was like a cheetah inspired hairstyle that was going. I don't know what was going on with the hair. I mean, I know we talked about it, but
Josiah, we all know that she grabbed that motherfucker out the trash. She was coming to the reunion, saw it in the trash bin, picked it up like, oh, this would be nice. I didn't gotta do my hair today. Y'all know that's what happened.
Not at the trash, sir. Not at the trash.
All I'm saying, while she's up here talking about she glad Juan Dixon ain't here, she need to be worried about why here because Michael ain't here either. So they might be together, bitch. So you might need to be worried about where the fuck he is.
But all jokes aside, I am happy for Robin. I'm happy for her because she finally got proposed after 6 seasons and 8, 9, 20 years. Finally got another proposal. So that's good for her, Hopefully, I don't know what her storyline is going to be. Maybe her tax issues, maybe overcoming that. But it's good to see her get finally proposed for a long time.
Josiah, is she going to get married, though?
Hell no.
That's okay. Okay.
That part. I think she was banking on Bravo paying for the wedding because she kept saying destination wedding. I guess trying to throw a hint of, hey, this could be, the cash trip. She was banking on it.
You ain't never lied. And then the funny part to me is just like, so are y'all gonna get married or is Ray and Karen gonna have their 25th first? Because I just kind of feel like the way they didn't have a date, Ray and Karen gonna get remarried before Juan and Robin actually have a wedding, y'all.
I don't know if y'all heard about a hush ring when NFL players give their fiancés when they just come like, I want to, I'm ready to get married, and it was like, okay, not entanglement, but common law, wife and husband. I think that was a hush ring, but I'm not trying to sound like no hater. It's just my opinion. But it was to just shut the hell up because I'm sick of you talking about it on the show. So
we haters anyway. We haters anyway.
But here's the thing. But I mean, I'm used to women having a date in their mind, like Cynthia Bailey. So how is it that y'all have pretty much wrapped for, let's just say, a year, and you still don't have a date? I found that to be just a little bit. I didn't mention it on my review, but I still just found it to be a little bit weird.
I mean, we could play devil's advocate and be like, we are in a whole pandemic. Maybe it's because of the pandemic. We could say that. Even though I don't think that's a factor.
Well, hey, Robin and her tire tracks in her head is finally engaged to Juan. I guess that, that's a great thing. Hopefully she gets an endorsement deal with Goodyear, being that she did have tire tracks.
Not a good year, Scotty.
Okay, period. Period.
She'll have more to do. She'll be able to pay for her wedding, and they'll finally be able to get the house that they need to get. She might even be able to buy herself the engagement ring that she really would have. So Goodyear, I know y'all been watching. I know y'all see them tie skits in her head. Just make that shit work out, and she'll have something to do. You know what I mean? Hopefully she ain't got to worry about Juan and being a problem. Because he's sitting on the wings waiting for the shit not to work out. So,
I just want to say right quick. So Walt Yale had put in the comments, Terrence slithered into the kitchen. We see you. I just wanted to bring that up because I found it to be funny.
I'm sorry, y'all. My connection was doing some crazy shit in the room, so I changed venues. My bad. I hope this is better.
And I love that kitchen.
I love the kitchen.
I was just about to say, I'm like, ooh, I need that.
And I want to clarify. I wanted to clarify for the comments and for everybody watching that this is Monique's shirt. This is not a shirt I bought. This is a shirt that she sent me because I said I liked it. And she said once she wears it on the show, she only wears it once. And a lot of people, will ask her for stuff or say they liked it and she'll send it to them. So she had her assistant mail it out to me. And this was also after the fight. Okay. So my opinion on that was already out before I got the shirt, just so everybody is clear, because y'all gonna swear up and down somebody paid me with a shirt. And I just kind of feel like I may not be rich, but I make too much money to ever be, buyable with just a shirt. Just saying.
Right.
Don't say
Right.
that. Now they about to say, oh my God, is she sending her shirts? The exception is real.
It's so cute though. Like, I don't understand. Like, she wore it once and she was
I
just
love it.
like, it was just gonna go to a real good Goodwill anyway. And if I was in that area, I might have been in that Goodwill. Child, I love to thrift. Call it what you want.
Me too. I love some good thrift shopping.
I just think at this point, and this goes for me too, that we might as well just not even address these comments in this fucking chat tonight. I think that everybody can agree with me on that, because we can kick in and laugh about it in a message, but as far as like being like even worrying about these damn comments, I'm not about to worry about them. All my mods is in there, so they'll handle that shit. I ain't even gonna get myself worked up. I got my drink and I'm already feeling this shit right now, so I ain't got time to cuss today. I
I
ain't
know
gonna
this
do
Cabernet ain't no
it.
joke.
So we're gonna get right on into the reunion itself. Now we open up the reunion when Candace turned the fuck out. She was in tears, and Andy was trying to understand why Monique's reaction was what it was. So when it comes down to that, let's just say, well, I'm not gonna say what I think first. I'm gonna let the women go first, of course. And how do you guys feel about Andy? Hold on, wait a minute. Didn't I just say I wasn't gonna address it? But since Walt Yale said something, I'm gonna say this. Yeah, we did invite y'all, but what I'm saying is we're ignoring the comments due to the fact that people can be very disrespectful in the chat. And when we curse them the hell out, we're wrong for doing that. And then they say that we're defensive and that we're disrespectful to our supporters. So therefore, I'd rather not even pay attention to the comments at all. That's what I was saying. It wasn't no disrespect to the people that's actually supportive of us at all. You know what I mean? It's not about that. But there are people in the chat that's being disrespectful, and I
Yes.
see it. I'm just
Like people
saying,
talking about me and my shirt,
I'm
talking
not.
about we know Bondi was paid off. I don't know how many times I gotta say that, and I feel like y'all won't believe us when we tell y'all anyway, because y'all say it about everybody. Like, it's not just me that y'all say it about. But please give me the respect of thinking that I would at least change my opinion for a check and not for a shirt. I mean, God, y'all just being real disrespectful about it, and it doesn't even matter because Monique isn't coming back to the show. Now what? Now what? Like, give me a break with this shit, because y'all just keep saying the same.
But like I said, we're not going to pay attention to any of that at all. We're not going to pay, any attention. So we're going to continue to do what we do. We're here to have fun tonight. We're not going to sit up here and go back and forth for comments. Let that go on. So
And I'm going to shake my tits
But,
every time I see a comment I don't like. I'm shaking tits.
However, I'm gonna let Jamie, Bundy, and Niecy start off with what we're talking about in regards to the show. Well, when it started off with Andy and him going back and forth with Monique about her reaction to the fight and everything that has happened, and Candace and her tears. So I'm gonna let you three go and speak y'all mind on it. Then after that, we're gonna Terrence, Uriel, and Josiah comes in, and of course I come in last. So
Can y'all hear me? Because I was having some connection issues. As far as Andy questioning Monique regarding her emotions, for me, I actually didn't see anything wrong with it, because he questioned Giselle in the same fashion. He questioned Karen, And had Michael been there, he probably would have got drilled the same way that Candace got drilled. I'm sorry, not Candace, but Monique got drilled. So in my opinion, I saw nothing wrong with that. She tried to answer it to the best of her ability. But what I will say, I did feel like Monique felt a bit defeated when he asked her, I can't remember what he asked her, but she said, "Oh, well, I'm trying to explain it to you how I process it." And then he was like, "Oh, were you upset?" She was like, "Yeah, I was upset." He was like, "Well, you didn't say that." And I'm like, okay. In that moment, I definitely felt I felt a little bit for Monique, because she just seemed like so defeated. Like, it don't matter what I say, like it's not gonna matter no way. And I definitely saw that. But initially, I felt like whatever he was asking her, he did that to every woman on the stage. So I really saw no difference in that. As far as Candace crying and being dramatic, at this point, I feel like it's expected. I really appreciated the fact that her husband was able to calm her down, get her to where she needs to be. I really like Chris. Chris was really there for her. She came back to the stage. It was what it was.
I'll go. Okay. So, let me just say that at this point, I know everybody's going to think I'm a bitch for saying this, but I just felt like Candace cried so much. I was just tired. I was tired of seeing her cry, and then in the same breath be so like antagonistic when everybody's talking. Like when people are commenting or talking about their storyline. I mean, not to skip ahead, but even to when Monique and her husband are having their moment hugging and you're making comments about that. Even if you did feel like that, like, damn, bitch, like, let them have their little married couple moment. Nobody said anything about if we really believe you've been getting a brown peen all over the new house. But, I just kind of feel like there are moments to engage and moments to just chill. And she never like chilled. It was just always her making comments. So her crying just kind of annoyed me. As it pertains to the way Andy came at Monique, I feel like I can understand where Niecy is coming from. What, he did ask other women similar questions about the way they were emoting. Yes, absolutely. But I still feel like you said, it was the aftermath and like the continued kind of badgering through the questions and the way he would ask those questions and then kind of give his little opinion about it. It just kind of felt like to me that he was coming at her. At every turn, it just kind of felt like Andy was coming at Monique, and she really held herself together because it was like, 11 hours of this shit. So I feel like ultimately she did well, because I probably would have cursed everybody out and stormed off the stage. So, hats off to everybody for dealing with the long amount of taping. But all in all, I just kind of felt like Monique definitely kept her cool for the way I felt like Andy was kind of positioning himself.
Okay, so I have to agree with what both of y'all are saying pretty much. I do feel like Monique felt like she was somewhat defeated. Like, I can't really say nothing else to satisfy you, so this is what I'm giving. But where I said all season long that Monique was being strategic, I kind of felt like Andy was being strategic on that stage. He already had an idea in his head of how it went down. He believed, since we all knew the footage was filmed, the rumor was talked about, but he wanted to push the narrative and say, because I didn't air it, Monique, why are you complaining about it? And he feels like because he didn't air it, Monique is responsible for 200% of everything that went down. So he was upset because instead of Monique acting like it didn't air, acting like it didn't get talked about, he's like, this is on you. That's what Andy was saying. Now with Candace, I was tired of Candace crying all season long, pretty much. At the beginning, I was like, okay, Monique is a fool. Candace did right. After she cried 150 times, I was like, okay, you boosting it. When she was on scene with the Post-it notes and the triangle tissues, I was like, okay, you are OD. But once she explained, I felt like at this reunion, there was a little bit more clarity of how she was feeling because Chris was there. Like in all the other scenes that we got with her trying to explain how she felt, we couldn't get nothing but tears. But when she was with her husband, I felt like most of the trauma that she experienced was that complete 1 year of social media trolls, of the storylines. I don't think that the trauma was directly from Monique. It was everything that came with what happened with Monique. So I can say, and I can sympathize with Candace because of that. So that's also why I feel like she was turned up on the stage, because most of her trauma isn't due to her direct relationships with those women. It's due to the aftermath of everything that happened.
Before I just want to piggyback right quick off what Niecy said. For me, you're absolutely right, because when Chris said that he wanted his wife back, that's when I was like, okay, so something really has changed with Candace. But I also felt like it was a lot of Candace engaging on social media to this level now where it's like you need to step away from it. I don't think Candace has the maturity level, and child, I don't know if I do either, to deal with the way people come at her because of the show. So I think it wasn't even, like you said, it wasn't just a fight, but it was also the fact that she couldn't deal with the way people are coming at her because of the show. But I also feel like she engages on such a venomous level that it's hard for me to really find the sympathy for her because of the way she engages with people, when really you have no need to argue with people who are just fans of the show. Some people are going to hate you. Some people are going to love you. It doesn't matter what you do. So in all honesty, and I've said it many times before, as aggravated as I was with the reunion, I still don't want Candace to be in like emotional turmoil. You know what I'm saying? Because of all of this. So if nobody else says it genuinely, I will say that I really hope that she is better after this, and that her being off, Monique being off the show is good for for Candace, because I feel like at the end of the day, Monique gonna be all right. Monique's husband and bank account and family and businesses will be all right. Candace and Chris, Chris just let go of his restaurant. So I just kind of, I really do hope that they make it. And I like Chris. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I definitely agree with all of you ladies had a really good point. I definitely agree with Jamie too about when it comes to Chris. He's a great husband to Candace, because we all know that Candace is a lot, and that's okay. Like, and he's really good and he's there for her. Now, however, when it comes to this whole situation, I did feel like that. I get her trauma. I get it. Okay, like it probably was a crazy, long, exhausting process. But I just always feel like that Candace just is extra. I just feel like that she just be doing the extra. And like the lady said, the crying, every scene that she's on crying, is like super annoying. When it comes to Monique she probably did feel attacked by Andy, and she was over it, and she just didn't want to talk about it anymore. But I was glad to see both of the women kind of somewhat take accountability. Candace for her mouth, and then also Monique on what she did on her end.
Okay, so what I'll say is, in reference to Candace and the whole mental state, I'm not going to say that she hasn't been going through it and haven't been feeling anything. But what I will say is that I've already said I felt like she was putting on a lot of extra for the show and to have footage to take to court. I've said that, and I'm going to stick by that. But to piggyback off of that, I feel that because she gave so much, she allowed herself to be engrossed by the situation to a point that it mentally put her in a spiral where she probably wasn't able to tap into coping mechanisms that we all eventually learn, yet they're all different. But I don't think that she was able to tap into that. So something that she probably would have just been able to snap out of, because she's allowed herself to go down a tunnel and now she's stuck there, probably with no way to get out. I think all the social media backlash was real heavy because she suffered it from prior seasons, with her being on the internet and saying crazy stuff, i.e. to Ashley, to fans, and all that other stuff. Let me see what else. With Andy going at Monique, I felt a lot of that started on part 2 of the reunion. And if we got everything sequentially, yeah, I can totally see how she was defensive and somewhat defeated, where you have somebody coming at you. And, Jamie, to agree with you, yes, Andy, for the most part, was giving that same energy to all the women, but I felt that he was going harder on her, because I think we all can agree when it comes to other women, primarily when it comes to Giselle, he didn't hammer her enough with a lot of things. He let her skate a lot where it's just like, okay, we heard this, we'll move on. Okay, we heard that, we'll move on. Yet it seemed when he got to Monique, it was, I'm gonna just keep on handling. You said this one piece right here. What you just said here, I'm gonna go down this rabbit hole. Just like kept digging into her.
I felt like Andy did go in on Giselle regarding Jamal though, because when Monique brought out her binder, and she asked the whole question about Jamal, or brought that situation up about Jamal, Andy started to probe Giselle about Jamal, and he even re-brought it up later on at the top of the part 2 reunion, asking her again, like, I'm interested in knowing what's gonna happen. Are you gonna give a call? And he asked her for a third time in part 3. So I feel like he definitely kept asking her about it. I think it was just the energy Giselle was giving off. She didn't want to really give him nothing, and it was just like, it's fine, everything's fine. So I think that it probably was more so in her response, but I feel like he was asking her the same, more and more questions as well.
I'm gonna just say I feel like that was probably the only topic that he stayed on her about, because I feel like when it all around came to the plot, like him saying several times, they've already commented on it. We've talked about it for so long. They said it didn't happen like that. Like the way he was taking their word for it without showing the video, the clips, I just felt like that was the part where it felt like he dropped the ball with equally going at everybody for their part in the breakdown. Because like Yarel said, I think it was Yarel or Josiah, I can't remember which one of y'all, but like y'all said about how, I'm sorry, y'all know I've been drinking. The fact that Andy kept saying it wasn't on the show, and and that if Monique and Chris hadn't brought it up, nobody would have said anything. I was like, that is such a lie. We came to the reunion because we wanted to hear what the hell was the plot about. So I just kind of felt like he was really trying to stick with this whole narrative that didn't happen because they edited it out. And I feel like that's so unfair, because in real life, like y'all claim the show is, somebody would be upset about people sitting around a table having a conversation like that, to me.
Right. Now, in part 2, I definitely felt Andy, because I was like, if we didn't see it on the show, why is it being heavily discussed? But as we got into part 3, I kind of saw a little bit like, okay, now I want to know what is going on about this plot, because we really didn't get a resolution at all. We had Candace over here not answering the questions. So I definitely felt Chris when he said, girl, that's BS. I hear you. But what really bothered me, not so much as Andy, when it came to that, it was Giselle that pissed me off, because she was not allowing Chris to talk, which made me feel as though there is some truth to what's being said. Not only did you not answer it, you turned around and told this man not to speak to you, only for you to turn around and speak to this man, and then start getting loud, and then ushering for your security guard. And I'm like, okay, somebody lying.
She told him to shut the fuck up. She said, shut the fuck up talking to me. And it was like, whoa, because it was a simple yes or no question.
I just want to bring something up, because I know we're going to get to it, but I want to just throw this out there. We can come to it later. But I have a problem with Wendy, because she wants to stand up for certain things. I want to know, why didn't she bring up why Giselle has a bodyguard when that probably should have been Candace, if anybody? But why do you have this bodyguard? Why are you gaslighting? Why are you? And y'all know that production, like for a reunion, they have security. So why are you saying, oh my gosh, get him, he's setting up? Like, why isn't Wendy saying something like, why are you sitting here trying to push this narrative of an angry African-American male, of an angry African-American woman? Why are you trying to push this? Like, that would have been a perfect time for her to speak up. But I just want to throw that out there. I know we're going to
She was definitely white lady. She was definitely
smoke.
Yeah.
She didn't want no smoke. That's what that was.
It was white lady when she was like, he's standing up. He's standing up. Giselle, that was real white lady to me when she did that. I was actually quite like, girl, why are you doing that? Like, that's so unnecessary. And notice security never moved.
I think it was just one of those things that was probably in the 11th hour of filming. They was filming for 11 hours. So I think at that point, Wendy, that situation didn't really concern her too much. So maybe towards the 11th hour, she like, if I just sit here and be quiet, we all gonna go home. Now, the person who should have been holding Giselle to the fire consistently, because he did hold her to the fire a little bit with Jamal, is Andy. And Andy fell everybody short. The number one question I done asked every single week that we have been on this panel. And honestly, if he would have answered this question and nothing else, I don't care about her relationship with Jamal Bryant or anything. I don't care. They didn't even have to talk about that. But if he would have answered, why, Monique, did you pursue a friendship with Giselle but physically fight your friend? If he would have asked her that question, I would have been satisfied, because quite frankly, we all know ain't nothing shaking with Pastor Jamal Bryant.
I definitely agree with you on that, Niecy. I felt like that should have been a question that was asked, because that was low key, that wasn't a good look on her end. It wasn't a good look at all. I don't know what the hell Andy was on. I don't know what was going on in his mind. Maybe he was just over it. He wasn't focused. He wasn't focused on the reunion, and he did not ask the correct questions and hold everybody accountable like he needed to.
Right quick about Wendy, because I didn't comment about Wendy. I just wanted to say that I felt like by the time we got to the reunion, Wendy was able to like watch it back, because I feel like even on Watch What Happens Live, her energy was a little bit different than it was on the show. And at the end, when she was like, I want to work on how I orate, I say, girl, you got to use your vocabulary. I felt like she was saying maybe I went a little bit too hard this season. And I didn't even get that same energy from her when she was talking about Karen wasn't Candace's real friend. When Andy was like, it felt like there was some real love there. She's sitting there shaking her head and shit. So I'm just kind of like, I think that she noticed that she went a little too hard and was trying to like backtrack, because she wants to be on the show as well. So I think it was better to be a little bit more amicable in the situation.
Terrence, you must ain't gonna say shit tonight.
Oh, my bad. I was waiting. I was seeing if everybody was finished. I'm sorry. When it comes to Andy, y'all already know how I feel about Andy. I got on my soapbox earlier. That's probably why my connection fucked up. I don't have an opinion about Andy either way. Like I said, he must have got a new drug connected and he ain't getting enough bumps. So that's why that happened the way that did. Now, as it comes to Wendy, I'm not necessarily in disagreement with Wendy coming back for a second season. And like y'all said, I'm glad that she did look at this season and be like, damn, I did team too much. And I really hope, since she's gonna be back, I really hope that she really gives us something. Like, I'm here for it if she comes back and really gives us something. You know what I mean? I can accept it. As far as Candace and her tears, girl, I don't care. I'm over it. And yeah, that's just why I'm at with it. Go ahead, Scotty.
Okay, before I go into anything else, Terrence, your connection was messing up. I don't know why it keeps messing up, but your connection was messing up. So yeah, because people thought you were talking real fast, but it was your connection messing up. But however, I think I'm gonna be regurgitating stuff because we kind of already discussed this. I said, which I said already, but no, this is just how it goes when we doing a panel. But for me, I'm gonna say it like this in regards to Candace and her emotions. Speak for myself. Um, I will admit that I too was annoyed with her crying every episode, whatever like that, because I'm naturally annoyed with emotion because I'm not an emotional person. So, you know what I mean? This goes back to how people interpret emotions however they choose to. Everybody's emotional state is not the same as everybody else's. So just because I don't cry like that doesn't mean the next person isn't going to cry like that. So there's some things that doesn't really bother me. There's some things that may bother someone else more so than others. So it's all about how a person reacts. Most of my friends can't stand my emotional state because I'm never emotional about anything. Like they could be crying in front of me, And you know how sometimes if a person cries in front of you, you probably rub their back and tell them everything is okay and all this other stuff. When a person cries in front of me, I just hand them some tissue and that's it. Like I'm not gonna rub your back. I just didn't look and give you some tissue and ask you if you all right. That's it. It's not meant to be rude or nothing like that, but that's just how I am emotionally. Like I don't have much emotion. So of course, a person like Candace is doing all that crying. I'm not gonna understand it that much. But when I sit back and I think about everything that has happened in regards to the fight, I was more so focused on the fight. I definitely wasn't talking about the things that happened on social media because I myself didn't see it, didn't witness it with my own two eyes. So I never want to talk about anything that I didn't see. But I will say that, and I said, and I made a whole video about this. That when I saw her comment on something a couple of nights ago. She was just laughing at something, and soon after she commented on it, everybody just started dragging her by her Remy. Like started dragging her, saying that they hope she get her ass beat again, like all types of stuff. So I felt bad for her, and then I started to realize that okay, so maybe this is what it is. This could be the reason why she may be a little bit traumatized. It just goes beyond the fight. It's the berating on social media. It's what's saying on the blogs. It's all this other stuff going on. So I feel like if that were me and I got my ass beat on TV, and then on top of that, you got people on social media dragging me for getting dragged, that would probably be a bit much for me too. You know what I mean? So I put myself in her shoes and I understood exactly where she came from. But so that's why I really don't have an issue with her crying because I really thought about everything that transpired, but I will say at the very beginning, I will bitch, why you crying? Like, why you still crying? You know, because that's something that I would normally say to a person if they constantly keep crying. I'm very uncomfortable when a person cries in front of me. Like, when a person cries in front of me, I don't know what to do besides get them a tissue or a napkin or a towel or something to wipe their damn tears because I don't know what to do with emotion. So when it comes down to Candace and her tears, I'm not necessarily gonna drag her forward. You know what I mean? But my advice to her would be this. Granted, granted, you had your moment where you got into a physical altercation. You've never been in one. Um, and granted, your mouth is smart. At the same time, people talk, whatever. I do feel like at the end of the day, I can still empathize with a person even though they may not, do it the same way that I do it, I can still empathize with people. So I definitely empathize with her in her situation when it comes down to her emotional standpoint. I definitely understand that. That's something that I work on because I'm not emotional at all, like at all. So that's why I felt the way that I did. So I do understand Candace when it comes down
Scotty,
to that.
so you say that you are not emotional. I'm going to call bullshit. Okay, like I know I'm on your channel, but hey, screw it. We finna do this, okay? From a Capricorn to an Aquarius, okay? Because it's still my season right now. With the way that you've been acting on your channel for the last couple of weeks with these motherfuckers and these damn comments, nigga, you not emotional. Now, if you mean that you don't know how to deal with somebody else's emotions, then maybe, just maybe. But you're not gonna sit here and lie in these people's faces. I'm not gonna let you do it. I'm not gonna let you do it.
I think Scotty is emotional in a turn up type of way, not a woe is me type of way. And that's what he's talking about.
Okay. All right.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. That is all I'm saying. When you're talking about me handling the comments the way I'm handling it, it's not me being emotional. I'm pissed off about them. That's the only time you see emotional from me is when I'm pissed off about something. So I was pissed off about about the comments and stuff that was going because at the end of maybe I'm more sensitive than emotional. sometimes I can be a little bit more sensitive to stuff. I don't like for people to lie on me. I don't like for people to put a narrative on me that's not true. So I'm not necessarily emotional. I'm
You know,
sensitive.
I
I can
feel
say
right
that. I can
now
be
that
sensitive.
in you getting defensive, that you are being a little bit antagonistic because I was just bringing something to the forefront. It seems like you are being a little bit aggressive towards me. I feel as if I am being attacked. I don't appreciate this. I mean, you have me here as a guest, and I feel that you are being the absolute.
Okay, let me just say, can
Wait,
I wait? Wait, I just want to say in Scotty's defense, I want to say in Scotty's defense that at the end of the day, the more people that follow you, the more people come at you. And some days you can just like let that shit roll off your shoulders. And other days you feel like I don't know who this person is, but they got me fucked up. So I will say that I understand, but I also agree that you are more sensitive and that you go to angry because this shit is frustrating. As a Gemini, okay, it is very frustrating for me to be misunderstood, for me to be quoted in any way other than the way that I meant for it to come off. So I understand where Scotty is coming from in this situation with feeling frustrated with the way people view whatever you say, no matter how you say it or how you try to redirect and say it a different way, they still want to come at you about it, no matter what. And that is frustrating. But like Candace, that is what we have signed up for. So at some point, you got to let the shit just kind of be what it is. And that is just a part of the job.
Really quickly for those in the comments, y'all don't know this. Me and Scotty had this planned out well before we got here. So this was really y'all for entertainment. So for those of y'all who are taking this way too seriously, I'm gonna need for you to calm your tits, grab a drink, and just sip on it, okay?
and wait, Bonnie, you a Gemini? Come on, Gemini.
Yes, a left-handed Gemini at that. Okay, get into
Josiah,
it.
what'd you say you were, Josiah?
I'm an Aries. We real chill. We real chill, but we turn up when we need to.
You a lie.
If we
You a
had
lie.
two
Fuck
Geminis in the
Aries.
chat.
Excuse me. No, sir. Oh, hell no. Y'all not about to come for the Aries like that. No.
Hey, cuz I was born to an Aries, which is my mother, and my middle brother is an Aries. Fuck y'all. I said it and I meant it. Fuck you.
God, don't say that.
Fuck yeah.
We get along with everybody. Okay?
Uriel has a very, very estranged relationship. we have had some long conversations. Okay. Listen, I'm just gonna say, look, regardless of what the signs are, I love everybody.
Right,
I love everybody. That's it.
You're really provoking Josiah. He's being very aggressive with him, and it's just not cool that he's being aggressive with him. He just really provoking him right now. And Josiah's about to black the fuck out in a minute. Like, oh my God.
When he said that he was an Aries, it probably took place.
Not the NACA.
That's not a triangle, Uriel. That's not a triangle. Come on.
Oh my
God. Jamie, they want to know what your sign is. Even though I know what your sign is, but you can tell
them. Thank you, Sir Hicks. You are correct. Sir Hicks down in the comments. I already told y'all what I am. I'm a Leo.
Now, Jamie, what is your issue with Aries, sis? What's wrong with Aries? Because Leo and Aries get along.
They be not all the time, okay? Because y'all are like what is I believe it's like a ram. Isn't that y'all like symbol or something like that? So I'm a lion. So it's like we fight for control at times. My ex of like a long time ago was extremely controlling. And then me and my lion sister, we be like this sometimes. We be like this, and then we be like this. So yeah. It's a love-hate, basically. Okay. It's a love-hate relationship.
It's the best relationship stuff.
I guess so.
Terrence is a Pisces.
I would have never
Girl,
thought
ain't
that.
nobody asked you to tell people
Yeah,
what
ain't
I
no way
am.
I would have
Everybody
thought
know what
Terrence
I
was a
am.
Pisces.
Everybody
Pisces
know what I
are
am.
nice. They're nice for the most part,
Thank
but I think
you.
they have a little manipulation in them, just a little. But
Just a
my
little.
little brother a Pisces.
Terrence got
It's
that
cool.
spice.
Baby,
Like I
Terrence
didn't,
is not
bruh.
nice.
He not
Terrence is
nice.
not nice
He
at
It's
is nice,
all.
but he
embarrassing.
has like that.
No.
Yes.
I would
So
have thought you was
He
like,
is nice.
I don't know. I would have thought you was like maybe a Leo, or I would have thought you was a Gemini.
I was
He
a
probably got it
Leo,
in his
You have
a
such
chart.
a
Gemini, or
strong
Scorpio
personality.
for Terrence. Leo, Gemini, or Scorpio.
Terrence
Well,
is mean
yeah.
as fuck. Y'all let him. Okay.
Oh my god.
And I'm a Scorpio. That's
Look
why
at
I can
him.
understand what you were saying, Scotty, when you said you were emotional, but you're not. What was me? Because I'm
Scorpios
emotional.
I can't
Scorpios are
deal.
heartbreakers. I love Scorpios as friends, but y'all are heartbreakers.
I got that in my chart.
You know what? We really got all off topic.
We really did.
I know. Y'all really did. Like,
That was my fault. That was my fault. I'm
I'm
sorry.
so weak right now. Lord Jesus.
But
Get back to it.
okay, so we're gonna get into the conversation of the whole legal action. Now, before I let you guys speak on that, I will say this. I was very surprised at some of them when it was like they felt like she went too far with the legal action. I thought that especially Giselle and Robin would have been all for it, but when they said that they were surprised. Well, yeah, they didn't expect to do it, or they have been they felt it was a bit much for her to go legal with it. I was surprised that they said that. I thought they would have been all for it. So of course, ladies go first. I'm gonna let y'all speak y'all mind on that. Do y'all think she went too far with the charges, or do y'all think that she did what she felt she needed to do for herself, or do you think that the only reason why she pressed charges was her mama told her to?
The latter. I think she pressed charges because she had influence, primarily from her mom. As far as Wendy and Robin being shocked, I understood. But what was I going to say? Giselle said that she didn't want her to go to jail, but she wanted her to be what she said, have an ankle bracelet or something. It just didn't make any sense. And I'm just like, Giselle, you know you didn't care. What happened to that lady? Why you just say keep it 100? Okay, you didn't care at all. But I think Candace was definitely influenced by her mom and was.
I was. I thought it was funny, like Jamie said, that Giselle told her, "Oh well, not jail time, maybe an ankle bracelet." And then I almost dropped something. Somebody fed her next comment where she was like, "Or community service." So it's like her first thought was jail, but like Martha Stewart jail. Then she was like community service. Honestly, I don't think Candace did too much. I think based on her personality, she did what was right for her. Now, if it was me and my friend, I would have never pressed charges. We would have just fought. But everybody holds the right to press legal action if you felt like you were assaulted. And then the emotional distress and all that, if she felt like that was necessary, it is what it is. But I do think that she was influenced. I think she would have held out for an apology, and that Monique probably would have apologized. But it was the influence, and she reserves the right to press legal action if she wants to. I wouldn't have done it, but whatever.
Okay, so I'm having audio issues, but what was the question?
We were talking about Candace pressing charges and how I was surprised that Giselle was. I think that was Giselle and Robin. They felt like she did too much with the charges and went too far with it. So the question was, do you think that Candace went too far with pressing charges, or do you think that she did what she felt she needed to do, or was it her mom's influence that at her to press
Okay.
charges.
Well, I'll say I believe it was a little bit of all those things. I feel like it was Karen, it was her mom, it was the way she felt about her perception of Monique being on social media and kind of still poking at her and saying I dragged you and all of that shit that made her feel like Monique wasn't apologetic after what happened. So I will say that Candace was in her right. Like at the end of the day, when you put your hands on somebody first, you kind of put yourself in a situation to be sued at the end of the day. Now, would I have taken it there? No, but I feel like Candace was in her right to do so. I feel like a lot of her venom towards Monique, like, you know, if she went to jail, she should have thought about that beforehand. Like, I just kind of feel like I don't care how you slice that, that's a lot for me. Like prison time for a cat fight on a reality show where everybody is being put in a controlled setting with all of this alcohol. Like, I know that it is Monique's fault ultimately because she touched her first. But what I mean is that's not like a normal setting. So I just kind of felt like I wouldn't have gone that far if I was her, because I feel like it took it, like we've been saying this whole season, it made it so that that was the only thing we talked about and we could never get past it throughout the season like we would have liked to. So I would have preferred for Candace not to press charges, but like I said, she was very much in her right to do so. And if she felt that that was her way of getting back at Monique because Monique, you know, kind of had her at a disadvantage with hitting her in the head, then so be it.
Guys, y'all go next.
I really think that, you know, she sis had to do what she had to do, which was cool. You know, I like the lady said, I definitely agree with the ladies 100%. I think that it was definitely influence for Candace to do what she had to do. And also, me personally, I mean, if I was on the show, I wouldn't really sue anyone. But I think that the judge saw it as, like we talked about earlier, you know, oh my God, y'all both on reality TV. This is BS. Nobody is really, I'm not really taking this seriously. I got get the hell out of my court. That's what I feel like the judge said about the situation in her head or his head, whatever. But yeah, I definitely think that if Candace wanted to just go with the lawsuit or whatever, that's fine. You know, I mean, it is what it is, but
okay, so Bondi brought this up, but the whole thing about Monique thinking about her kids, I wholeheartedly agree with that statement that Candace made. And again, maybe this is my military background, but being a non-commissioned officer in the United States Army, yeah, you know, we do have soldiers that have punishment and whatnot. They have a chance to talk to the commander about their stuff, and a lot of them tend to talk about their families, kids, this, that, and third, and not to come off as being insensitive, but I always say you should always be thinking about your bottom line before you do anything, before you say anything, because there can always be, you know, consequences behind it. So that part I agree on. In terms of was there influence, definitely that was all Dorothy. I don't care what nobody say. In my opinion, that was all. I feel that Candace took it too far. No, I don't. No, I don't. She's well within her right to do it. For me, it would have been more believable. And I'm going to continue, just to let y'all know, I'm going to continue to compare this to Real Housewives of New Jersey until we get the fuck up over here because it's some bullshit. But when you had Danielle at the Posh event, what was that, season 2, and she was standing there talking cash money shit, and then Teresa got up and started running after her, and now she done turned into a woman in distraught, this, that, and the third. She's having a panic attack, all this other stuff. She had to be carried to the car, and then she called the police from there. I would have been more on Candace's side had that been her energy rather than you got bobbed. Again, y'all can be mad at me, I don't really give a fuck, but her getting bobbed in the head and you're standing there calling her all type of hood rats and, you know, that and the third, wait, what, like a week or whatever, and then file charges. It would have been different had she just been sobbing the whole entire time, been laid out on the floor like Karen said she would have been, and then file charges. That's my opinion.
I agree with each and every last one of y'all. I honestly do feel like Candace is at liberty to do whatever she wants to do. If she decides she wants to take the legal route, that's fine. My only issue with Candace is the fact that you could sit up and feel like you could say whatever the flying fuck you want to say to people out of your mouth, but then feel like because they hit you, Now the whole thing is I'm embarrassed and I'm about to take you to court. Like to me, it's just I like she's in her. She can do whatever she wants. She's a grown woman. She can do whatever she wants. But she feels as though that this needed to be going to court. Fine. I do feel like she's very easily influenced because she's simple minded. So she was influenced by her sagging titty, dusty ass mammy. Y'all know I don't see it for her. I don't see it for Dorothy. She did a piss poor job of raising kids. Y'all, why do y'all keep baiting me with these questions? Y'all know I don't see it for these people, and people already think I'm a womanizer when I hate women and all of the rest of this nonsense. Listen, Candace can do what she want, and that's just what I said.
Hey, Terrence, right quick. I just want to let you know that Dorothy is the original thick weaves. I just want to say that. All right.
Okay, period. I don't see it for her. She just annoys me.
I think, you know, and like
I'm gonna say this in response to what Terrence said. I mean, they think that I'm a woman hater. They also think I'm a colorist, but I'm gonna keep speaking my mind on the situation. Like we're up here to speak on it, so it really don't matter what they think at this point. At this point, I really don't give a fuck now. I mean, the season is over with. We really ain't even got to talk about these hoes no more, honestly. So it really don't even matter at this point. Like, they woman haters, they think we're misogynistic, they think we're colorists, they think all of that shit because we had an opinion. So who
Yeah,
cares?
I
But
just feel like I
in
got the
regards to
right.
Candace and
I'm sorry. I just want to say this one thing. I feel like I just got the right to be able to look at a situation and just agree that both parties are wrong. I could understand if we were sitting up here saying Monique was right. I don't think none of us said that. So it's like, I felt like if y'all could sit around and say that Candace is right, that's fine. Just grant me the respect of a person that have a mind of my own to say, listen, both of them hoes is wrong, but we can agree to disagree. Don't attack me for how I feel. I won't attack you. Nor am I gonna browbeat you with how I feel about my opinion. I'm gonna bring it up and I'm gonna leave it alone. But whatever. Go ahead, Scotty. I don't want to take over your thing.
I just want to say, based on the comments, like y'all don't hold Candace and Monique by the same standard as far as I'm concerned. Because to me, I feel like it's crazy that Monique has to learn, that there are consequences for her actions, but Candace doesn't have to learn that there are consequences for hers. Like, what is that about? Why do words not matter when words are what fuck us up as kids? Okay, everybody remembers something somebody didn't say to them that has hurt them to their heart for their whole life. So words definitely matter. So I think the fact that we like to act like it's not as important or it's not as detrimental, I feel like is not true.
So I had a question for y'all and people in the comments too. Last night, Monique tweeted, she said, her mouth is not what triggered me. What the F? How many times do I have to repeat myself? So all season long, I've been hearing a lot of the viewers, specifically Team Monique, defend Monique's choice to fight Candace by blaming Candace for the rumor / plot. And then the next step was blaming Candace for her mouth. So if Monique is saying that her mouth is not what got her hit, and both Monique and Chris know that Candace went to Karen with the rumor, then the situation that we're looking at still does not give me reasoning for why Monique hit her. Because it's like Monique is saying that we know that Candace didn't start the rumor. She admits that. And then Monique also in the same breath says it wasn't Candace's mouth. So then it still doesn't explain anything. And those are the 2 points that I feel like a lot of Team Monique is riding on to defend her.
Okay, I'm going to just say this because people consider me Team Monique, okay? I'm going to just say that I have always felt like when she plucked Candace's hair, that took it physical and that made her wrong because she did that first. She physically touched Candace first, okay? Now, when we exclude all the shit that happened up into it, when we looking at just the fight, I feel like both people came to the table on rah-rah. So Candace was like, you're not about to punk me. And Monique was like, this ain't what you want. And what ends up happening is what happened, okay? But at the end of the day, No, of course, in the grand scheme of things, Candace and the plot had nothing to do with why they got into a fight. They got into a fight because they was both drunk, acting a fool in that restaurant, and got in each other's faces. And honestly, I feel like was trying to one up each other. It was a moment where it's like, well, whatever you do, I'ma do more. And I've been in that situation before. That's why I know it was really on some like, I'm drinking too much. It's too much animosity bullshit, more so than anything that was going on behind the scenes. And I said the night after the review, I mean, after the show came out, that I felt like Candace didn't deserve all of that. But I feel like just like Candace feels that Monique's actions after the fact added to it, I feel like Candace's actions after the fact added to why people are more annoyed and want to see Monique's side of things because they feel like Candace has annoyed them and they haven't even personally met her. So,
yeah, I can see that. It's
Not to
definitely a
me.
personal thing. The fans feel personally vindicated by Candace getting whooped.
Not to mention, I don't want to hear nothing about Candace being bullied on social media or in the comments when I have nothing but Team Candace and Team Stans all up in my comments, dragging me front, right, and sideways. Like, if I'm not running around here crying, bully, woof, I'm scared, they antagonizing me, they bullying me, and all of the rest of that shit. If I'm not up here doing that, I'm gonna need for Candace to do like it, like. I want to feel sorry for her, but Candace always puts herself into predicaments where it just makes you question. And it's just like, much like I said in my laugh this morning, what is your role going to be? If your role is going to be you rough and tough with your Afro puff, I'm going to need for you not to be, Becky Sue crying on the floor at the drop of a hat, busting all apart of the scenes. Like, what are you going to do? What are you going to give me? Like, I agree with you well. I feel like if anybody should have bought any type of outside security, it should have been Candace. That's how you play up the bitter white woman, the distraught white woman, the Lifetime movie channel white woman. Like, that's what you do. You know what I mean? Like, go ahead, y'all.
Well, for me to answer Nisi's question on my behalf is you can't at this point, it does kind of come across as if Monique can be a bit inconsistent with what her reasoning was for getting into the altercation. I can understand why one would say that. To me, I just feel like at the end of the day, Monique wanted to fight Candace because she was pissed off at Candace and she wanted any reason to fight her. That's how I feel. And I wish that she was just go ahead and
Say that.
say,
Yeah.
I don't fuck with you, so I wanted to
Right.
whoop your ass. I would
Right.
respect that more if besides, well, she did this, she did that. Just say you wanted to fight her anyway, because that's really what it boils down to. You wanted to fight her,
Right.
and you took whatever opportunity you had to whoop her ass. And that's all you had to do was say that in my eyes. I feel like you wanted to whoop her ass because you was already pissed off with her. You already felt like she was doing shit behind the scenes, and that's just what it is. So that's why, as time goes on, I understand why one would think that she can be a bit inconsistent her reason as to why they got into the altercation. Now, in regards to a comment that said, as far as what Terrence had said, true enough, you can't, y'all saying that what Terrence is saying is like, well, y'all not, ain't nobody bullying y'all. I don't see how y'all can say that we're not necessarily being bullied when we getting cursed out every day. It may not be on the same wavelength as Candace is, but we get hate almost every day just because we're not we're not picking a specific team. Because even today, I've been deleting comments all day. I refuse to go back and forth with no bitch today. I've been deleting comments all day. I've been getting hate from both Team Candace and Team Monique today, pretty much because I held them both accountable again today. So that's how I feel about the situation. Can't tell if a person like I can't tell Candace that she's not getting bullied. But that's how she feels. Is how she feels. So we can't tell Terrence that he's not getting bullied because if he's getting attacked every fucking day, then what would you call that? Go
I
ahead,
would
Bundy.
I would just like to say that I feel like we have said it before, but I want to reiterate this, that of course black women are allowed to cry. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like it's ridiculous and it's actually counterproductive for us to put black women to a different standard. Oh, you crying too much. I think for a lot of us, and let me just say this, the issue is that in one breath you're crying, but then in another breath you're like poking at somebody. So it feels like when you're a kid and you messing with your brother or your sister, and then when your mama turns around, you're like, Mom, he hit me, when you know you did it first. My cousin used to do that all the time. He would do little slick shit, and when my grandma would turn around, he'd be like, Grandma, it wasn't me, it was them. And I hated that. And that's what, to me, a lot of what Candace does, which annoys some of us. But I feel like another thing, you know, I keep saying you can't trust Bondi's opinion because Monique gave her a shirt. I just kind of feel like if I'm saying somebody is wrong, then why can't you trust that? Because it's not like I'm saying Monique was right. I said she was wrong. I just felt like in that moment, the way things went down, I understand in that moment feeling like it's way too many hands, it's way too many people coming at me. I just start swinging. If Candace can say that she was doing a lot because she was drinking, I don't know why that can't also be a reason for why Monique blew up the way she did. Like, I know y'all think she showed up ready to fight Candace, but I honestly don't think that that was what she was trying to do. I think she was trying to do that mean girl shit to Candace the way the other girls had done to her, which is every time we around each other, I'm gonna make a little slick ass comment and I'm gonna keep fucking with you. And hopefully you make yourself look bad. That's what Monique was trying to do. But that night, it got the better of her and Candace because they both ended up looking a fool to me. And I just want to say this because I've said it before, but I feel like people don't be hearing me. I am upset that they fought. I did not want them to fight. And I'm upset that it ended this way. This is, to me, this is more of a loss for everybody that it ended this way. I would have preferred for them to have a conversation other than getting physical. Whoever you want to blame for that is fine. But I'm sad that it ended this way because I was a true and real fan of Candace, Monique, and Karen. So now y'all have taken that from me. And that's what matters to me more than anything was they little clique. And I really like that. And like I said, I wasn't even mad that Candace was running her mouth because I think that's a good thing on a show like this. But I think when you do that, you have to be able to stand in your shit. And Candace doesn't stand in her shit enough for me.
I feel like maybe Monique wasn't coming there to fight. I don't think anybody expected them to fight, but I still feel like at some point Monique wanted to get up in her ass.
She was punking her.
That's just how I feel.
I definitely think that
Yeah,
was like I'm
but at the
punking you
same
moment,
time,
and Candace is in this space like, no, you're not about to punk me. That's why I keep saying from different perspectives, it looked a certain way. That's why I don't think that when we go back to how the fight originally happened and people were saying Monique was lying. I kept saying, I don't think it was that she was lying. I think her perspective of the fight from her vantage point is, I really didn't do all that until the wine got in my face. And then I started hitting people. Just like, Candace is throwing around a broken glass. But yeah, she is trying to defend herself because you do have her by the wig. Okay. So at the end of the day, I feel like it's just two different perspectives on a fucked up situation that just should not have happened.
What's getting me though is
I
everybody
can say
wants to
this
keep
though, like,
saying. What's getting me though is how everybody wants to keep saying stop blaming the victim. There's no victim in any of this. We're blaming all parties involved, including Robin and Giselle. More so Giselle than Robin, but Robin is just gonna catch it because I don't see it for that whole.
Yeah,
But
let's get
I
to
mean,
her, Candace and Karen. Candace and Karen in that situation.
right. Like there's no victim in this situation, so it's impossible to victim blame. There's no victim in here, so there's no victim blame. That's just my whole thing.
well,
Okay.
well,
All right.
let me.
I'll go ahead. Oh,
Go ahead, Uriel.
all right. So with what Monique tweeted. First, let me say this. Monique has been very inconsistent with what her exact trigger has been. Now, has she said that it was an out-of-body experience for her when she has fought? Because I've had those to where I have snapped and I know exactly what is going on, but it's like I've lost control, but I can recall exactly what all took place. That's one thing. To say that you blacked out and that you didn't remember anything past a certain point. Now, again, I can understand things coming, but the story had changed many different times. I can like, and since the question is for the team Monique, I'm team Monique and team Candace, to be all the way honest. And with this, it is a bit of a loaded question because that means we have to sit here and interview every team Monique person. Now, where I stand is, yeah, like where I stood is her mouth was part of the issue. Because I said last week, from how I saw it, how things escalated. And the whole you walking off to the side, and you might have been very playful with it. Hell, here's the thing. I've been very playful with my words and still being antagonistic at the same damn time. Again, I'm man enough to admit the shit. But I even said, but when the gap got closed, and now you two are face to face. Yes, there is a table between you, but you two are literally face to face. One is flipping hair, one is pulling jacket. Like Funky Dot even said, it can only go up from where the hell it was. But Monique's story has changed many times over. It is what it is. That right there, I'll say. But was it her mouth? I think that part of it was that, but it was a lot of other factors thrown into it. Bullying thing, for me, I understand how everybody feels is bullying. Fuck it, it ain't bullying to me. It just is what it is. I'm built a different way. But here's something that I will say, and this right here is to Candace's defense. For those of you who have a Twitter, if I've done this in the early beginning stages of me having a Twitter, and I stopped doing it because I realized, damn, that's rude as fuck to at somebody while you're live tweeting, because literally that is an attack because you are literally atting this particular person. Now, if somebody at you, if you get cussed the fuck out by Candace, guess what? You warranted that because you added her. Now, if it's Instagram or like YouTube, and you come onto somebody's page, platform, or whatever, and you start talking Cash Money shit, to me, this is my house. So you come on my YouTube channel, because that's my house that I've opened up to you to come on in the room, and you start talking Cash Money shit, I have every fucking right to sit here and cuss you out from here to sunset and all the way back yet again. I have every right because you don't come in my house and fucking disrespect me. So if Candace went off on people for coming to her particular platform and talking Cash Money shit, if she unloads on you, guess what? She is within her God-given right to do so. But there has been times that Candace has gone off on somebody and it wasn't a quote-unquote direct comment. But that, it is what it is. But for some of y'all in the comments and whatnot, yes, some of y'all are fucking bullies. Some of y'all are intentionally typing shit in comments because y'all want us to read it and respond to you. What happens is you are the aggressor by typing this shit because you want a response. As soon as you get the response, oh my gosh, I'm being attacked. I just said this. We are in Scotty's house right now. Consider this his home. You don't walk in somebody's home being disrespectful and don't expect for you to get some action after that. Like when fucking, when I'm gonna be nice to say the real name, when Ashley was talking Cash Money shit in Candace's house, guess what? Yes, it's Dorothy's house, and guess who Dorothy's daughter is? Candace. So guess who house that also is? Candace's. If you are in her house and you are going at her and you leave out, mind you, Giselle brought her back in. Could have told her, she said leave, but y'all chose to continue to shoot a scene. If she throws a fucking knife, guess what? She's within her right because you just came back in my house, disrespecting me in my house. So whatever the fuck you get is what the fuck you deserve. So yes, there is bullying that goes on. Some of us, even though it may be bullying, we may see it differently because some of us are built differently. At the end of the day, a lot of this is bullying. Period.
Yes. And I would just like to say that I have purposefully never added anybody about anything I've said when I'm talking about people, because I always have run by this. My opinion of everybody is my problem. My opinion of Candace, my opinion of Monique, my opinion of anybody is my problem, not theirs, because I don't necessarily know their life. I look at YouTube and social media and these reality shows as a business at the end of the day. We are paid to talk about it, just like commentators are paid to talk about sports, just like they are paid to talk about news and, you know, all of that type of shit. This is the same type of situation. So we have a right to say how we feel about things without without people like coming on our platform to attack us when we're on our platform giving our opinion. So you don't have to be here. And it's crazy to me that so many people show up in the comments. Some of the same people show up in the comments every week to tell us how y'all think we're biased, but you keep showing up every week to hear what we have to say. I have been teasing this damn shirt for months now. Y'all knew the shirt was gonna come, and now everybody won't act like, oh, now you can't trust my opinion. And I'm so glad somebody else said it in the comments that I have said it from day one that Monique was wrong. I have never changed how I felt about this situation, not once. Now we like with Niecy, we get new information and our perspective change. I always want to give everybody like, change my mind about the shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? I give people room to do that. Go ahead, Urel.
No, just one last thing for those who may have an issue with us commentating on it. Let's be very honest. We are currently in a social media driven world. Many of us on this panel are millennials. So we were there right before the boom of the internet and when the internet boomed. And when it comes to a lot of these companies, whether it's a company, a TV show, whatever, they drive off of social media. Right quick tangent. With the Popeyes chicken sandwich, it was out, but they didn't broadcast it. What happened? All the African Americans, for the most part, went on this whole thing of, oh my gosh, it's so good. And guess what we did? We drove sales to them, so they were able to make money without properly advertising. So with us commentating on these reality shows, what we are doing is we are helping to drive viewers to watch this show so they can continue to get numbers and these shows get renewed. So even if we sit here and we say F this person for the entire review, if one person who hasn't watched the show goes and watch the show just because we said F this person, guess what? They got another view. So in the end, no matter how much we all on this platform or any platform fight, do you know who the winner is overall? It is the predominant company.
And let me just say that how I say fuck you is I stop reviewing your show and stop talking about you. So let's just be clear. If I wanted to say fuck you, I wouldn't be talking about you at all. Just like whoever that was on Twitter that was going off on me and starting threads about me, and I still ain't went over there to Twitter to see what they said. Child, I ain't giving you no gas and no air.
For me, it just goes back to this. Like, I think people feel like, in so many words, because someone just said it, that we feel like we need everybody to agree with everything that we say. It's not the point that I need you to agree with me. You can agree all day, but the issue is y'all come in. Well, I ain't gonna say y'all. Some of y'all come in, and then y'all go in personally on people, and y'all decide that, okay, you're colorist because you said this, or you hate women because you said this, or you're misogynistic because you said this, or you hate your mother because you said this. That's a bit much to me. You know what I mean? It goes beyond us commenting on a damn reality show. It's okay, now you want to come for my damn character now off a 15-minute video that I'm getting paid to do, to talk about these people making a fool out of themselves on TV all day. So it's just like, it's like you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. You know what I mean? Like, for example, I remember with Erica De Niro, for example, I'm using her as an example. People love her videos on Potomac because she pretty much leans over to Candace, but then they don't like her Atlanta reviews because she likes Kenya. So now they're going to say she's biased to Kenya now. But just on Potomac, y'all was just fine with her being, team Candace, but now on Atlanta, y'all mad because she's team Kenya. It's just like you're only biased that doesn't affect what you think. So I just think that that's fucked up, to be honest.
Will she be Team Latoya? Will she be Team Latoya?
Right. So it's like, go ahead.
No, if you're not done, because I was about to say something else. I was about to.
Okay. I'm gonna get this out in what you're saying, but it's like, and plus, and people do that a lot. Like they look as long as you align with what they're saying, but soon as you have a difference of opinion, you know what I mean, it's a problem. Just like, and I use Erica Danero for example because I actually love her content. Whether I agree with her or not, I'm still gonna watch her shit regardless of if I don't agree with her or not. You know what I mean? Like with Jamie, for example, I love Jamie. That's my girl. You know what I'm saying? I've been rocking with Jamie and Terrence for over the last year. You know what I mean? Like I endorsed them when I first started watching their videos. Whether I agree with them or not, I still fuck with them regardless of if I disagree or agree. So you're not gonna bully me into saying what the fuck you want me to say. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like it's just crazy to me. And then not to mention, even with me saying that even with me saying lately that I empathize with Candace, you know what I mean? That's still an issue because it was like, oh, you drugged Candace all season. You could have kept this video. Bitch, I just said I empathize with this woman. I got an epiphany on the situation. Now I understand, you know, where
You
she's
can't
coming
win for
from.
losing.
Now it's still an issue. So, I said, you know, empathize with her story. I understand. So it is what it is, but that's still an issue for somebody. So it is what it is. So people only like you when you saying what they want, saying what you want them to say, but saying what you want them to say. But once they go off the grid and say something else, then it's an issue. When I was dragging Nene, it was a problem. It wasn't an issue. But no. When I was dragging Kenya, it was an issue. But when I have a difference of opinion on Candace or Robin or Giselle or whatever, you know what I mean? Not, you know, that's an issue because you don't agree with it. So it is what it is. And before I send this over here to Niecy, let me just set the record straight. Don't take what I just said with me comparing and contrasting me and another YouTuber. Don't try to take that and try to make it sound like I'm trying to diss them, because that is not what the fuck I just tried to do. I never said what they do on their channel. What I said was, long as she's saying what the fuck y'all want her to say, she's good. But soon as she is, you know, saying what she's saying about Kenya, y'all gonna sit up here and be mad with. I already see it already. That's why I used it as an example. We're good as long as we say what the fuck you want us to say. But soon as we go off the grid and say something else that doesn't really align with what you're saying, we're biased. That's the whole point. So don't even try to sit up there and make this into something else. Because I've said time again, I like her. And on top of that, she been on my channel. So don't try to make this into something fucking else, okay? Go ahead, Niecy.
Hey, Scotty, right quick, wait, Niecy gives even 1 second. Scotty, here's something for you. Right quick, Bondi, the New Orleans entrepreneur that did the lipstick kit, her name is Super Sin, right? Okay.
Yes.
So, all right, so Scotty, here's what I'm gonna tell you. All right, man to man. Super Sin said something, and that shit was so profound. It was maybe like less than a minute. She was talking about blocking people. People coming on the page talking about, so why I'm blocked. You blocked because I was on somebody else's page. I saw you talking that Cash Money shit, and I blocked you for what you said over there. So don't even come on here asking why I'm blocked. So if you go on somebody else's page, because we all support a whole lot of people, and people get to talk Cash Money shit because I do go back and watch, like, read the comments of past panels that I've been on. Yeah, people get talking that shit. It's real simple. I'm gonna block you right there because I heard what you said. I saw you for your worst. You were trying to be sneaky. I'm gonna block you right there. So when you come over to my house thinking that you about to be on that rah-rah and you don't see your motherfucking comment nowhere, guess what? It's because I already saw you for what you were, and you were being very divisive. You were trying to sit here and cause discord amongst a group of people where there is none. So that would be my advice to you, from big bruh to little bruh. If you see people on that bullshit, just go ahead, like, screenshot the shit, but go ahead and block their ass right the fuck there and just be done with it. Go ahead, Niecy.
Y'all said a word. Y'all said a word. It's literally what I be wanting to say. I had to go ahead and call them keyboard warriors in my video. So I'm glad we got that across. But one thing that I feel like we kind of grazed over whenever I'm not about to talk about the fight, but one of the things that I feel like we grazed over is, do y'all feel like there was sincerity in the apology from Monique to Candace? And I also want to know how y'all felt about Candace's reception to the apology. Because when I saw it, I was actually really happy. I saw it as like maybe the door is just barely open. But once Candace made her points, I could kind of see where she was coming from. It's 365 days too late, although it was legal. So let me know what y'all think. Do y'all think that Monique's apology was sincere, and how do y'all think about Candace's reception to it?
I would like to go first. Hey, what's up, you guys? Sorry about the train in the background because I live near train tracks. But I would like to say that I feel like when it comes to Monique and her apology, I did think that it was sincere, and I'm glad that and I get where both parties are coming from. You know what I'm saying? I get where Candace is coming from, saying it's a year too late, because honestly, in my opinion, I thought that the conversation should have happened almost immediately after the fight. But when you look at the situation at a whole with both ladies, would Candace really sit down and talk to Monique? Because I felt like that it could have been some type of conversation, maybe even like a few months after a fight. But I feel like on Candace's end, she felt like her apology was a little too late. But I was glad to see Monique apologize and own up to what she did on her end. But I mean, it happened so long ago, and I think with social media and Twitter and the back and forth and everything that's been going on, I feel like that now is in void and it's too late. It's a little too late.
I'm glad that Monique apologized. I'm happy that she did it. Myself personally, I would not have apologized to Candace for shit, but I appreciate the fact that Monique did apologize, and then Monique did, give some type of explanation or reason or whatever the case may be. Now, as far as Candace accepted the apology, myself personally, I kind of feel like, why not? I feel like you can accept the apology and still not want to fuck with her. Like, I hate the fact that people feel like because you accept an apology, that means now the slate is wiped clean and now we have to be bosom buddies. That's not always the case. I feel like I can't accept your apology and be like, I still don't want to be around you. I still don't want to be in your space, but I accept your apology and I appreciate you for giving it. Like, I just feel like if you can stop the beef at any given point, at any given time, why not do that? You know what I'm saying? But then again, I can feel like if she feels in her heart of hearts that it wasn't a sincere apology, by all means, she has the right to not accept. So, I mean, it's a slippery slope. I'm glad that she gave it. I wouldn't have given up, but I'm glad that she did. And if she decides not to accept it, that's her God-given right.
Yeah, I'm glad when I saw that Monique apologized. I was like, oh, she did it. She did it. I was happy. And I just knew that Candace was about to be open to that. Well, Candace hit me with something I didn't even think about. Well, she said, oh, it's been over 365 days. Like, I can appreciate trauma, but girl, it took you a long time to apologize to me. So it's hard for me to accept that. And I understand where Candace is and not wanting to accept that, because we also got to take into account Monique wasn't even willing to apologize right after the situation happened. So I feel like if she could take as long as she took to apologize, and Candace actually felt affected by the assault that took place, as well as the broken up of a friendship, if she's not at a place where she's willing to accept that, cool. And I feel like I went through a similar situation with a friend this year. We didn't fist fight or anything, but we definitely got into it where I'm at a place where it's some shit you said to me that I can't take back. So, or that I'm not willing to move past from, not in this moment. So if I don't want to accept any apology that comes towards me, then I'm just not going to. And I could appreciate the fact that she wasn't fake about it and just doing it for the show and saying, oh, I accepted, Monique, thank you, whatever. So It was what it was. I definitely appreciate Monique for apologizing to her, but I understand where Candace
Okay,
is as
so I'm
well.
gonna just say that I don't think that once Candace realized that all the girls were on her side, because obviously there was a meeting that happened right after the fight that a lot of the girls weren't privy to. I think that no matter what, Candace wasn't going to be receptive to anything Monique said, whether it happened right after the fight or 365 days later, because I think that Candace finally had a moment to get all of the girls on her side, which I think Monique and Candace kind of have been vying for the approval of the overall group. Like Niecy and Jamie have both said this many times, and I totally agree that Monique has made decisions because ultimately she wanted to be liked by the whole group, right? And I think that no matter what, once she realized that all of the other girls were going to just be on Candace's side, I think she got defensive. So even if she wanted to apologize, I don't think it would have been received. Nobody really wanted to hear from her after that. They never wanted to go and meet with her. They never wanted to see where she was with it. I mean, nobody wanted to film with her. So I feel like even if she wanted to give a genuine apology earlier on, nobody gave her the time, space, or room to do so. Okay. So that's one thing. The other thing is that I feel like y'all said, Candace did put this into perspective for the whole situation, but I also feel like if she can look at the whole situation and feel like, it's been a lot, then she should be able to see that from her same standpoint. I think y'all have both done a lot of things to each other after the fight happened. And to me, Candace just stayed on par with her victimhood. But Monique should have apologized because, like we've all said, you touched her first. You were wrong because you took it there first. So yeah, Monique definitely should have apologized. I did think her apology was sincere. There was a moment when she was like, at the end of the day, nothing that you said or did warranted my response. You know what I'm saying? I was triggered. Like, that's my own situation. I do think Monique has come to that space where she realizes that. And I think she realized that before the lawsuit. But once the lawsuit happened and now the lawyers are talking, and we think that, she's just trying to come at me for money. Like, I think it was a lot of water under the bridge, but it would have been nice if Candace would have been a little bit more gracious, because I feel like she went for instead of making this amicable, I'ma just go for the jugular. You know what I'm saying? Which I can't necessarily be mad at her about because of the way things have went down, but it would have been nice if she would have at least accepted the apology in some way. And I don't feel like she did.
I think you probably got a point about her not being open to accept it regardless of when the apology was given, because she did mention right after the altercation happened, like a day or two later, some information was leaked out to the blogs, making it seem as though she was the aggressor, vice versa. So she probably already started to form whatever narrative she had. And just her experience as a whole. So I think that could be true, that she probably wasn't going to accept it anyway.
And then it also plays, I'm sorry to cut you guys off, but it also plays a role in the other ladies playing into this as well. I mean, it's just not only Candace and Monique fallout, but when you think of the other ladies, Giselle is probably in her ear, Mrs. Dorothy probably in Candace's ear, just like around what that scene when Monique was talking. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? So it plays in with all the ladies. And I feel like, unfortunately, if all the ladies would have not put their 2 cents or persuade each other, there would have maybe be some reconciliation, like some type
right. Like how Giselle and them were saying that they were mad at Ashley for picking sides in the lawsuit, but they picked sides on the show, period. And honestly, it would have been nice if everybody would have stayed more neutral, but they didn't. So it was like somebody had to be on Monique's side in order for this to not seem like y'all were gangbanging. But can we talk about what Candace said about Karen going to the executives
I was
on
just
her?
about to ask that next. Yes, because we listen.
Before we go there, let me speak my piece on this whole apology thing. Let me say what I got to say on this. I will say this. I feel like I was proud of Monique for apologizing, but I already knew that when she did apologize, it pretty much wasn't going to be accepted. And the reason why I knew that it wouldn't be accepted, because when you go back to it, at some point, I do feel like if Monique had apologized early on, then it probably would have been received differently had she apologized early on. But when the fight first happened, Monique wasn't remorseful. And as I said when it first aired, I'm like, well, I would rather you say you're not remorseful and it be honest instead of saying, I feel bad when you really don't feel bad after fighting somebody. Because I know for me personally, even if I said something that was messed up to a person, I'm not gonna lie to you. I know that it's fucked up that I said it at the moment, but I don't feel bad at that. It takes me maybe a day or two to sit back and reflect and say, okay, that was fucked up. I shouldn't have said that, and then I apologize. Sometimes you have to sometimes you gotta let a person sit back and simmer on the situation, and then you know what I'm saying, you know, let them, simmer down on it and then see how they really feel about it. So that's one thing. But she did not have no remorse at the moment. But I do think that once the legal aspect of it along, that's when the whole well fuck this bitch, I'm not apologizing came into play. But then on Candace's side, it's like this for me. Monique apologized. That's true. And I'm glad that she did. But I'm not necessarily mad at Candace for not accepting it because just because the person apologized to you does not mean that you have to accept it. It doesn't mean that you gotta fuck with them again. An apology is an apology. It's either up to you to accept it or for you to just say, "Oh, I hear you. Let me simmer down on it for a second, and then I'll come back to you, and then we can have another conversation about it." But when you think about um the social media stuff that Candace endured, as well as Monique actually making a hog about whooping her ass, I mean, I probably wouldn't have accepted the apology
Ple-
either. The song itself would say, "Bitch, I'm not accepting a motherfucking
Can I please,
apology."
right quick, Uriel, before you go in, because I want to comment on what Jamie has said about Candace feeling like Monique went to the blogs first. Monique was on All About the Tea. And I think one of the things she talked about today was the fact that there was somebody in the restaurant that went to Twitter as soon as the fight happened. So it didn't necessarily have to come from her first because other people were there. I do believe somebody from her family or from her team put shit out there to put the story in a certain way. But I still feel like at the day, Candace can say what she wants to. Even if we didn't have that information, people would have still took sides based off of what they saw from Candace in previous seasons. People were still gonna blame her, even if they didn't get that push. So I feel like, Jamie's right that she probably felt that way, but I also feel like Monique could have probably still been mad because you called her a hood rat and wanted her fired after the fight. So I'm remembering everything you said right after the fight, on top of the fight. I'm sorry, I'm not sorry about it fast enough for you. But that would make it seem like Candace was a victim and was entitled to all of that. And I just don't feel that way. I feel like, at the end of the day, as soon as Candace realized the girls was gonna have her back, it was like, fuck Monique.
Mhm.
Okay, so before I get to my point, I'm gonna vaguely share some of my personal shit before I get to it, because one thing that I do want to say, and I'm going to reiterate this in a moment, is we all deal with things based off of how we either was raised or situations that we have been in. And if we haven't taken the proper steps to reconcile some of these things until it's brought to our attention and we're forced to unpack this stuff, we can't fully accept a lot of it. So right quick. So back in May 2016, me and my eldest brother, we're both Capricorns. He's a January Capricorn, I'm a December Capricorn. I'm just gonna say that. But we fell out, and he straight came at me disrespectfully, and right after I Father's funeral, and right before I went to bed that night. It literally disrespected me. The first time was between me, him, and a cousin. The second time was in front of our whole family on some straight rah-rah shit, and we literally are saying our fucking goodbyes. Now, outside of that, we had one conversation. That's because my mom kind of forced a conversation when I was on the phone when I was in North Carolina, but we didn't really talk for a whole good 4 years. Because for me, I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to deal with this. Let me get back to life. Now, I've been back in Chicago since May of this year. We are about to close out this year. I've made it clear to both my mother and my middle brother, All I want is for us to sit down and have a conversation about what happened, so we can get not only to the bottom of that, but we have deep-rooted issues that we need to come forth and talk about. It's yet to happen. And he said to other family members, he doesn't feel as if this conversation happened. Like he doesn't feel that I should have, like, I need this conversation, or he needs it. So we still haven't had it. Now, for me, I could have easily just straight closed him off, like it happened. He ain't apologized. For me, I didn't do that only because we needed time, not only to heal, but we need time to actually sit down and unpack this shit. So now that we're in 2020, literally 4 years later, can we talk? We can't talk. Now, I'm about to go into a point where if we ever do talk about this, 2020, I was willing to talk about this in a very calm, collected way and talk about it in such a way that I don't trigger you. 2021 and on, I don't really give a fuck because I'm going to just say my piece. Even though it's been well over 365 days, there wasn't an opportunity for us to discuss it because the funeral happened. I was on a plane back to Fort Bragg, North Carolina a couple days later because life for me still went on. So there wasn't time or space to have the conversation. Now that I'm back in Chicago, there's nothing but time and space to have the conversation. So I say all of that to say, with Candace saying it's been over 365 days, and she said that rather than a year to quantify the amount of time. If you think about it, when did y'all have the time and the space to actually come together? Because you didn't want to talk to her. The girls did not want y'all around, so you had that opportunity, the time, the space, nothing to come together for there to even be an apology. And your first time seeing this woman face to face, woman to woman, shout out to Keisha Cole and Ashanti, is on this reunion. Is the first.
Yes, you better speak back.
Is the first.
In my opinion, the husbands could have made a way. The husbands could have made a way because they were still cool. So I think there was space if Monique wanted it to be space. I think Monique missed the mark on two things.
I agree, Niecy, but now it has me wondering. I'm sorry, I want to point this out. Monique said, I did not want to give Candace a social media apology. So now that makes me wonder, after listening to y'all, like, is it that she really did not have the opportunity to even say this to, apologize to her, which is why she brought up, I didn't want to give her a social media apology because Candace wasn't open to speaking to her at
Remember,
all?
she said she tried with the mediator and the lawyers, and that was when Candace's lawyer was like, no, we want this to be civil. Remember, she said, I tried to reach out and see if we could talk and mediate, but she was like, no. So I feel like, even like throughout the season, they both had times where one person was trying to talk and the other person wasn't open. So I think when we say that it's both of them, I think we really mean that in every, shape of how their relationship played out, that sometimes Monique was more antagonistic than Candace. And there were times when, to me, Candace was more antagonistic and doing little slick shit. It was really just both of them.
Yeah.
And it was so many people, like I said earlier, it was so many people in everybody's ears. You know what I'm saying? He say this, I mean, she's saying this, the husband saying this, the lawyers, the friends of the show, like everybody, it's all this extra talk that's going on. And honestly, like, it would have been damn near difficult for them to get together and talk about it because there's so many people all over the place.
The Chris's were the MVPs, though. The Chris's were the MVPs. The way they went, and I forgot to mention this in my live, but the way they went and dapped off after and apologized to one another, that was one of the best moments of the whole night.
Yeah.
Now, all right. So, let me finish the point right quick. So that was one thing, right? Also, now I'm not sure. Can clear this up for me? I'm not sure if the case went civil, but in the event that the case did not go to civil court since it was thrown out, from my little bit of now, look, I don't have a legal background, but from the little bit of research that I have done, in Georgia, there is a 2-year limit of statutation for a civil suit. So if she was to even remotely, after all this issue happened, come out with an apology, not saying that Candace would do it, but she could sort of use that as a means to try to justify some actions. And then with the whole apology thing, like, even before we get to this, because I know people are saying that, well, she tweeted this and the third, let me be very clear. let's not forget. Now, I don't know if y'all have seen it, but there is a live where Candace had clearly said she wants for Monique to go to jail so she can tell her kids what it feels like, and boop, ba, 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 ba. Y'all go back and find it because I ain't got time to go all through the weeds of it. So you went from just, I just want justice, to now we're, again, she has every right to be vindictive. She does, but now you want to be vindictive about the shit. Like, I want you to go to jail so you can look your kids in the face and tell them why you went to jail. So if she went has to do that, why is it so wrong that Monique wrote a song about the situation to purge herself of it? And lastly, before I give it back to the panel, with an apology, y'all done heard me say this a couple times on here. If you watch my channel, I done said it. An apology without actions don't mean shit. But at the same time, with the act, like with the apology, she could accept it. It could be like, I accept your apology, but I'm gonna need to see something. I'm gonna need for things to work. Or it could just be like, I hear what you're saying, I accept your apology, but I don't want nothing to do with you. So this whole entire time you're asking for an apology, you finally get it, but you want to continue to dig this damn hole. Because from where I stand, it seemed like you still want to be in with the cool kids. And all I'm gonna say is this. Y'all done heard me say it, and I'm gonna say it again. I love Candace. I love Monique too. I love Candace. I hope for her sake and her sanity that I hope that she falls on her knees and pray to whatever deity that she believes in, you know, whether it be Jesus, Buddha, Krishna, Allah, Elohim, El Shaddai, whatever. Pray to that person, because there is a strong chance that if these women don't go after Karen, because Monique is no longer on the show and they were already gunning for your ass, you so you better hope and pray that this little alliance that you built, because the alliance that Monique tried to build blew up in her face. You better hope and pray that this alliance that you built don't blow up in yours, because on this fucking reunion, you had the opportunity to completely clear yourself, because you did it on your live, but you threw the green-eyed gremlins under the bus, but you didn't do it on this fucking reunion. And there's even a text message going out where she apologized to one of the green-eyed gremlins, because I didn't mean to throw you out there like that. So for her sake, and for her mental stability, her emotional state, for the sticky note and the triangular handkerchiefs, I hope and pray they don't come for your ass next season.
You're right, bro.
I'm glad you say that.
I'm glad that you say that, because listen, let's not forget, even before this whole fallout between them, they was getting in Candace's ass, telling them to apologize to Ashley. They, I mean, they was hopping in her ass. So definitely, like, she needs to be very careful. I was just thinking about that at work. I'm like, damn, like now Monique is going to be off the show. The next who's going to be the next target?
Karen.
It's going to be either Karen, most likely, or they're going to get in fucking Candace's ass. Period.
That's the next person who needs to watch how they tread. It's disappointing that Karen fake was neutral and had this, she wore this badge of honor of trying to be so mature and so neutral. And that's what I believed at the beginning, but towards the end, it was very apparent that anything that she was doing was serving to Monique. And I thought that the reason she was doing that was so the ops wouldn't win. And now I'm just confused with the whole situation. So now that you don't have Monique on the show, Karen will be fine. She's never been one to follow the herd, but there's obviously she won't have anybody to have an alliance with unless Candace opens her arms to take Karen back.
That's why they need to bring a friend of Karen to the show.
And that's what I think that could happen, but I also think they really gonna be on Karen's ass, especially with the fact that Giselle has somebody to team up against Karen, which is Candace. Just like she used Candace with the situation dealing with Monique, she's gonna use Candace again with the situation dealing with Karen. I did hear that I'm hearing different stories. One is that someone that was at Robin's party will be a housewife or will be on the show. And then I'm hearing that they are hiring for someone else. So I'm like, okay, is that next person gonna be Karen? Karen's friend? Because I feel like Karen is due for some friends on this show.
They have to have an Alice and Karen, because Karen is not. We all know, like I said earlier. Ashley ass flip flop. She ain't nobody damn friend. She will turn on you in a heartbeat. Ashley is a snake. So somebody will have to be Karen's friend to continue on to season 6 of The Real Housewives of Potomac.
I agree.
This is all I'm gonna say about that. I really hope Candace really sees Giselle for her works, because much like Monique, the opportunity that she gets to turn on her ass, she will. And I'm just gonna leave it at that.
Keep fucking saying it. Bring Katie back. Okay, I'm done.
They ain't gonna never bring Katie back.
They
Katie
not.
had it. Katie versus production. Production do not fuck with Katie. Period.
Yep.
I don't give a fuck. Bring Katie crazy
They
ass
ain't.
back.
They not
I
gonna
said
bring
it.
this back.
I don't give a
They
fuck.
don't-
I don't give a
No.
fuck.
Production do not deal with production. Do not like Katie. They didn't even bring her to the reunion of last season when she did play a big part of the. Nah, they ain't gonna bring this back. Unfortunately,
But they didn't bring her back though because Ash. I think it has something to do with Ashley getting her blocked from the reunion because of the
Oh,
things that
ooh.
she said about pedophiles.
Okay.
So I don't
Okay, but
know.
look.
See, I
No,
can't
no.
stand.
Look, on the
Ooh,
real shit, let's be clear.
Ashley
Every
motherfucking
franchise
Dobbin.
needs that one somewhat batty cuckoo person to bring a shakeup. If you put Katie back in the mix, there's gonna be just enough drama with her right then and right there to keep this shit lively. Because again, Monique is gone. It is rumored, because I'm seeing in the chat, it's rumored that Candace is not coming back. And they talking about bringing Charisse back. Shout out to Alexander.
Lord
So
Jesus.
with that being said, bring Katie ass back. I said, in the words of Needy, I said what I said. It's not changing over here. So what you want? It's not changing over here.
I don't believe that Candace isn't coming back.
I agree with you.
I
I
don't think she gave that checkup. Go ahead.
I do think that Katie needs to come back, but they're not gonna let her come back.
Okay,
I feel
so
that way, so I wish she would
now that
come
we
back.
said that, not to take over Scotty job or nothing like that, but because y'all said that, that really makes me want to bring it back to this whole situation where Candace said Karen went to the higher ups on her. Do y'all think that in any way, shape, or form? Because she was like, she tried to get me out of here when she was crying to Chris. So it made me feel like there might have been some actual weight to when Karen went and talked about it. But honestly, I'm not mad at Karen because I feel like Candace did way too much towards Karen because Karen was like, well, it's this has been so hard for me. Well, it's like, no, everybody gave Candace her moment. Like, you had all of the moments, you had all of the support, and you were just really upset that you didn't get that same reaction from Karen. And I think, like Karen said, like, I think when the fight happened, Karen was watching that shit like y'all are both doing the most right now. So I think from the beginning, Karen probably did feel a little bit more like it was more both of y'all than just her and you getting attacked. But like y'all said, she's not gonna say that. She wanted to like kind of wait and see what was gonna all happen and transpire before she really gave her honest opinion about it.
All right, so I'll just say this and get it over with. Y'all
Well,
go.
I'm with
But here's what I'm gonna say: with that particular situation, I don't feel that Karen was wrong. Why did I feel that she was wrong? And again, go ahead and go off on me. Don't really care. But if Candace felt so threatened, so hurt, and all these other things at what Monique did to her, and that is your perspective, all that good shit, well, Cameron felt threatened. Because she kept saying, well, that's not a threat. Well, guess what? That's how she perceived it. That's her perception of it. So if she felt that way, now, do I feel that she was trying to get her kicked off the show? I don't. Because she said in my contract, which I guess is in all of theirs, there is some behavioral health, thing in there to where you can get some help. And here's the thing, even if she was trying to get her kicked off the show, well, guess what? Y'all iced out Monique, even though, in my opinion, Monique tried to ice out Candace. So again, turnabout's fair play. But y'all iced out Monique on this show. Y'all didn't want to film with her. Y'all used her saying, if y'all don't feel comfortable to have me at events, you don't have to invite me. Y'all took that to the umpteenth degree to where she wasn't being filmed or anything else to get her kicked off the show because that is what Turtleneck fucking wanted. Well, guess what? If it comes out, or if y'all feel that Karen, the Wicked Witch of the West, if y'all feel that she did this shit as a plot, as a ploy to get Candace kicked off the show because she felt hurt, whatever case may be, guess what? I don't see no fucking problem with it. Because here's the thing: if Candace was writing what the fuck she did, guess what? Karen is writing what the fuck she did.
I agree and disagree at the same time, but I'll let everybody else speak and then I'll say what I have to say.
I think Karen was foul as fuck. Like
Go
when
ahead,
I
Nick.
found out what she did, I thought Karen was foul as ever because being that y'all had a mother-daughter relationship, if you felt that her mental health was at stake, why didn't you go to Dorothy or why didn't you go to Chris? Now I do agree that Candace wanted the same exact feedback from Karen that she got from everybody else. She had a hissy fit and probably text her some stuff that she shouldn't have texted her, right? But why go to HR? Why? I don't know if her sole intent was to get her fired, but I do feel like Karen was like, you know what? I'm tired of this shit. You're not gonna let me be fake neutral in peace. I'm gonna take it to the boss, and whatever they do with it is whatever the fuck they do with it. So I don't know if her sole intent was like, I'm gonna get this bitch fired. It was just like, if you're fired, you're fired. I don't care. But what you're gonna do is not hold me accountable, because one thing that Karen hates is having to explain herself. She will lie in circles and say things that don't make sense. So
Wait, right?
I mean,
Wait, Bada, give me a second. Hey, Niecy, right quick. You remember in the season finale how Candace went the fuck off on Karen as if she was her elder? How she came at her in such a disrespectful way, in such a disrespectful tone, on some shit like that. And I'm gonna keep it all the way 100. If I'm cool with you, even if you are an elder to me, I'm still going to talk to you with a certain amount of respect and decorum, no matter how upset I am. So you know what? Hey, on some real shit, and I'm gonna just say it. If I was Karen, oh, you really finna talk to me like this? And even when I come to hug you and console you and say, you know, we should be bearing this, well, some of us, Karen, you know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna give you all the action and the motherfucking energy. Hey, look, I'm gonna be all the way 100. I am motherfucking petty.
They weren't just castmates, though.
I'm sitting on petty. I'll be ready for the motherfucking petty. You want to get petty? Guess what, baby? I can get petty right with you.
Right, I think that to hold on to this Mother Goose role, stick by your word. If you want to be Mother Goose to Candace, you need to reach out to her.
Mother Goose. Oh, wait a minute. Let me. No. Candace, no. Hold up. Candace is an adult. I don't have to reach out to your husband or your mama when your grown ass thing came in my text messages and came at me. Now, you want to file charges? You're entitled to do that. Y'all want to ice Monique out? You're entitled to do that. Fine. But then don't get mad when Karen goes about it in the same manner that everybody else has been going about this shit, which is, I'm going to take it to HR. Now, I don't know if I believe she was actually trying to get her fired. I think that was that was Karen's way of smacking Candace's hand because she couldn't get to her in any other way. Like whenever they sat down to talk, what Candace gonna do? Scream and holler and cry and overtalk you. So you can't really talk to her anyway. So I think that Karen felt like, looked at them text messages and probably was like, I can't even talk to this little girl. So you know what? So she gonna keep coming at me like this, I'ma smack that ass a little bit. And she went to the higher ups on her. Now, if you want to feel like that's fucked up, that's fine. But I feel like once she came at Karen like that over and over and over again, I just kind of feel like fuck all that Mother Goose shit. You talking to me like I'm a hoe on the street, so now I'm gonna handle you like you Giselle or anybody else. I feel threatened. She said I should burn in hell. What is that? Fine. I'm fine with it.
I feel like.
And you know what?
Go ahead,
I'm sorry, Jamie. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Jamie.
Go ahead, Josiah.
No, I was just gonna say I definitely agree with everybody. With both points. You know, I feel like, in my opinion, like I think. Ooh, hold on. Go ahead, Jamie, because this train is a lot.
It's fine. I feel like if Karen wanted to feel threatened, she should have felt threatened when Candace was yelling at her ass at that event. Not only that, she turned around and loved on the girl and then walked out. Now, Karen, you got this mouth for everybody, so why you ain't have that mouth for Candace via text message? You stay coming at Giselle here. You stay over here being Flower Robin. How do you have something prepared for everybody but Miss Candace? Then you decided to go and take this text message because you felt threatened over to HR, and then turn around and say, oh, well, in the contract, they said something about psychology or whatever. Girl, you already know she's in therapy. So what are you going to HR to do? And Candace didn't necessarily say, well, no, she did say get her fired or reprimanded. So for me, I'm looking at it just like what Robin and Giselle told on Karen earlier, saying that Wendy was not Potomac. She shouldn't really be a part of this show. So for me, it's not that far of a stretch for Karen to be vindictive in that manner to try and go and get old girl put off the show or whatever. So we've seen the history with you, Miss Karen. We also know Miss Karen is a liar. So I don't trust her, and I feel like she was foul as fuck for that shit. But that's just me.
Yes, I would listen. I think when it comes to the whole, oh, go ahead, Scotty. I'm sorry.
No, no, go ahead, Josiah. Go ahead. I'm gonna let you go first, then I can go
Okay,
after you. Go ahead.
it's gonna be really quick. All I have to say is I feel like when it comes to the whole situation between Candace versus Mo, I think that Karen has been trying her best that she could to stay neutral. But however, during this segment, I did give Karen the side eye because, like Jamie was saying, you know, why you have to go ahead and take it out to HR over the whole situation. I think that when it comes to them, Karen needs to just if she feels some type of way, she just needs to own it. I think that that's her issue. She doesn't really own what she's saying, or if she feels some type of way, she doesn't really own it necessarily. Now, when it comes to Candace, I feel like that she was upset. Clearly, she was upset at Karen, and I mean, damn it, like Karen was just in a really messed up situation because it was just like she didn't know. She was clearly trying to be neutral in the situation, but it just didn't really happen. So, but I do feel like doing this whole altercation and this argument between Candace and Karen, there is hurt. Karen was reacting out of hurt. What she did was not right. It was not right. She shouldn't went to the higher ups, but I think it was out of hurt. And I feel like that I'm praying and I'm wishing that they can repair this relationship because they did have a close bond between Karen and Candace.
And right quick, and this has nothing to do with what we're talking about. Simply Sakana is in the chat room with us. I just want to say, hey, love, hey, beautiful. Thank you for supporting us. We appreciate you for being here last week. So there it is to you. All right, y'all keep going.
Shout out to Simply Sakana, by the way. She was also a part of, before I get to my point, I also want to say that Simply Sakana was a part of our highest rated panel last week. We're almost at 11K for the last panel that we did. So shout out to Simply Sakana for being a part of that. If y'all haven't subscribed to her, please do so because she does great reviews. Because guess what? If she didn't do great reviews, she would not be here with the rest of us. Okay, like us greats. Okay. So with that being said, when it comes down to Karen, I'm gonna say this. I don't. Someone telling you to burn in hell eternally to me isn't a threat. It's more so it's harsh, but I don't feel like it's a threat. I don't think I could see myself going to H because someone told me to go to hell. Me personally, I don't see myself doing that. If someone told me to go to hell, I would have told them to hell and take their mammy with them. That's probably what I would have said
But
back
you know
to
that
them. It
that's
probably
probably
would have been
not
wrong to say,
all that
but
was said. You know that's probably not all that was said, though, Scotty. You know
well,
she ain't
yeah,
stop at go to hell. Candace is real long-winded
yeah.
about the way she reads you to death.
Well, see, that's my thing, though. I don't want to say too much without knowing everything that was said in the text message because I highly doubt that her saying go to hell is your one-way ticket upstairs to the HR office. I don't think her telling you go to hell is that is the reason why you went up to the office. It had to be more that was said in the messages. Now, on the outside, it would look like Karen was filed for going to HR. Like I said, I would have to know exactly what was said in the message because I just don't see someone telling me to burn in hell would be the reason for going. I'm not gonna go. Do you know how many people that I work with have told me to go to hell and I told them fuck you and I vacation hell right along which I vacation when someone tells me to go to hell at work. I'm not going up there telling my manager that. So
I'm
I
just
mean, It got to be
I mean,
something
I'm
else.
just
But
saying
at
we
the
watched it
same
be something
time,
else. Like I do feel like it was the culmination. Like it wasn't just the text. And I do feel like the text said more than that, but I do feel like it was all of it. It was the way she came at her multiple times, no matter how many times Karen tried to talk out of it. And yes, we all know, I think we can all agree that Karen talks around shit all the time. So Candace might have felt like she wasn't getting the truth, but I feel like you couldn't handle it any fucking way. Because had Karen been 100% honest, you probably would have lost your shit even more. So I think I think Karen was doing what she said she
but
was doing to Andy, which was telling people what they needed to know so that they would stop overreacting. But go ahead.
did she tell her to burn it? If somebody correct me if I'm wrong, but was Burning Hill Eternity thing was in response to Karen holding Giselle and
Yes.
Robin accountable
Yes, which is
for the
so
fight. Is that where
unbalanced.
that came
Yes, that's
from?
so crazy. We all said that though. We all said that they were like, they were pulling strings and shit. Like they were doing little, slick shit behind the scenes, talking to people and all of that. We know that though.
Wait, and
I didn't know she was doing all
if
that
y'all go
behind
back
them.
and watch the fight on Everything I Love, once the fight popped off, if y'all watch that shit, Robin, low key, like if you catch her, she smiled once that fight popped the fuck off and then brought it the fuck back. If y'all didn't catch it, y'all still got time to go back and watch. And if not, once the season is over, y'all can catch the shit on Hulu if y'all got it. But I'm just saying,
I saw the shit.
her smile
I saw
and
the
then brought it
shit.
back.
They were both very, and I think that's what Karen saw as well. And Karen was tweeting about how gleeful they seemed that the fight happened. And so then Candace goes and starts, texting her about how she's so wrong for putting the blame on Robin and Giselle. And it just annoyed me because it's been like, bitch, why are you that mad? Why are you that mad about it when at the end of the day, as soon as they get a chance, they're going to throw you away as well?
And I would like to add, I had it in my notes here that when Andy asks about, did they feel as if Karen supported Monique more than Candace, only two people raised their hand, which was Ashley and Candace, which was very
Candace.
I was
interesting to
surprised.
me. I was
very surprised.
I was definitely surprised. I was like,
I was
oh my!
very
I said, oh okay. I would have thought Giselle and Robin ass would have been the first ones, honey, and
Right.
then
I was like, where's
Wendy
y'all hand?
trailing, Wendy ass trailing along third place. I was like, oh,
Honestly,
okay.
I think maybe at that point in time, Giselle didn't want to speak on it, and Robin probably looking like, is Giselle raising her hand? If Giselle raised her hand,
Right,
I'm gonna raise mine. So
right.
I feel
Oh,
like
that's
just
a
based
good
off
point,
that,
Niecy.
you lost too. Giselle probably
That's
didn't want to
good.
participate no more.
Yep, exactly.
Jesus fix it.
When it comes down to the Karen and HR thing, it's just for me. I really stand with that. Karen can lie and just worm cabbage patch her way and Wendy slither her way right on out the fucking lie. So I don't know exactly what's true and what ain't true to this HR thing, but I would say that judging by the comment itself, I don't think that it was a threat, but I do think it was an insult. But at the same time, I do feel like this: if Karen felt the need to go to R, if there was more said in a text message, then that's her right. The same way then file charges against Monique is not the same situation, but if that's what they both felt that they needed to do, then who
Hey,
am I to
Bonnie.
judge them? That's just where I stand with that. But Karen, child, I don't
So,
know.
Bonnie, somebody is asking, what are you eating? Somebody in the comments wants to know. Hell, I want to know because
you was going in on whatever you was eating.
I'm sorry,
sis.
y'all. I was so hungry and they just delivered my wings. These are some dry rub ranch. It's the dry rub ranch wings from Wing Zone. They be hitting on everything, y'all. I'm sorry. I'm hungry.
I have some seafood boil. I'm probably gonna be chewing on after.
Oh, that sounds
Dang, y'all
good.
sound like y'all got some good meals.
Yeah.
Listen.
Can we talk
Hey,
about the?
oops, I'm sorry. Oh, what you was gonna say, Josiah? Because we kind of talking
Nothing.
about the same
No,
thing.
because I was about to say, can we talk about the men and Chris coming in with his sense? The Chris versus. Let's talk
That's
about the
We are
husband.
not there yet. We are not there yet.
we pretty much. I think we are there now. Because after Candace and Karen got into it, I think not too long after that, that's when the men came out. If I'm judging by my notes,
Yeah, I think that's
hopefully I didn't
right.
skip nothing. But that's so we can go into the men's. Before anybody else say something, I will say that Chris was not here for the pleasantries. He was not here for the hors d'oeuvres, nothing like that. He was ready to come with the get down. So uh I think I'll let Jamie start off with that situation. And I'm gonna mute myself. Go ahead, Jamie.
What am I talking about? Chris and his response to Andy.
Yeah, Chris, and
Yeah,
just his attitude overall, everybody on the stage, his perspective, everything that was going on with Chris Samuels.
I don't really know what to say. He just came out there. He really wasn't there for the FS. I don't really blame him. I thought it was hilarious. I definitely screamed when Andy tried to keep it cool, trying to talk to him, and Chris just wasn't on that SHI. He just wanted to get straight to the point. My main thing about that whole back and forth with Chris was Giselle, and we'll get on that later. But I'll let somebody else go into it.
Listen, child, they was on break and he was asking, he was just trying to, how Andy do before he get into the bull-ish. He start with small talk with everybody. He was trying to do that small talk with Chris Sam. He said, "Nah, but I really want to figure out why they talk about my baby. Why they talk about, let me deem it my voice. Why they talking about my child?"
But
Chris was
you
here
know
for
what?
it. He was ready for the BS. He was here for it. He was ready.
I just wish, because I know we're about to dive into it. Since Andy has such an issue with, we already talked about it, this, that, and the third, why didn't you have Chris Bassett and Chris Samuels out when y'all brought up this plot? Why were they not out there? You can't get mad that he wants to bring this back up, but you didn't have him out there when this came up.
And Monique also brought up text messages that were between the two Chris's, where Chris basically confirmed that there was a plot. So it was funny that he got up there on the stage and said that there was no plot. And I think that's why Chris Samuels was so upset, because it's like all of y'all are sitting here lying, acting like my wife is pulling this out of her ass when there's tape of Candace saying it. Giselle said it in the confessional. Chris said it in the text messages to me. I didn't talk to this dude, so I already know. So I do feel like his frustration was coming from the way they were overall kind of handling that situation.
And
I think if at some point anybody would have been like, for real, yes, this happened, we were talking about it, I think it would have lulled that. But because nobody wanted to actually be upfront and take responsibility, it just kept coming back up.
And I do agree, Bondi. And also, there was one portion with the whole bringing up of Chris Bassett talking about, the blogger, of them supporting the blogger, this, that, and the third. And if y'all paid attention, they alluded, both of the Chris's alluded to, we had this conversation already. So there were conversations, but I think to Chris Bassett's defense, he was trying to stick up for his wife. And I don't think we can be too mad at him trying to be 10 toes down for his wife.
Yeah, I'm definitely not. I'm definitely not like really mad at him, but I just kind of felt like there have been other times when he's handled the situation a little bit better. Don't come up here and say something is a lie when you know, in fact, that your wife did say that shit. Like, that's all.
I think the whole discussion is about whether it was a plot or a rumor. And I feel like maybe when they were initially talking about it, when Candace initially mentioned it, she said the word plot. And whenever she said plot, the Samuels took that word and was like, oh my gosh, people are trying to destroy my family. When part of me feels like, since the bullshit was coming from Giselle, it could have potentially been a rumor. It could have potentially been a rumor that was just some bullshit. So I feel like Candace wanted to distance herself from something that was looked at as a plot, and then all of a sudden it was no longer a plot. It's just, I feel like they just arguing about what the correct words were. Y'all had a discussion about
Semantics.
Right.
Yes, semantics. It happened. So it's like all y'all are arguing about something that actually happened. It's just Candace don't want to be involved with something that's called a plot. And yes, I do. Oh, the other thing I wanted to mention, Chris Samuels, you want to know how we felt about him. Y'all, he had me laughing the whole time. And like, honestly, when he started crying, part of me was like, my first reaction was to laugh, y'all. Not because
he was so damn dramatic. He was dramatic this whole segment.
Not because like I was like, ha ha, evil laugh, but it was like, damn, like he had horse blinders on the whole time he was out there. He had tunnel vision. I swear Andy could have been like, oh, nice weather. You know what's real nice weather? When y'all ain't talking about my shop.
Yes. Listen.
Yo. On one. So he's, even whenever Andy was like, what do you think about it? What do you think about the engagement?
Chris was on one thing.
You can't be mad at him like this, like, because I said this on my live because I didn't want to record it. Like, this all happened with his child. Now, I don't have a child, but I have nieces and a nephew.
Yeah.
I ride for my nieces. Like, I wish somebody would say anything halfway crazy about one of my nieces. I'm about to whoop your ass and I'm gonna be in jail. So him having that tunnel vision, it's just like, y'all said this. This is all that I'm here for. Fuck the other bullshit. I'm here for this one thing. And even with him crying, I believe that it was sincere, because if you really think about it, he did allude to the fact, without saying, that his wife did take up the mantle. She decided to put this issue on the back burner, try to befriend a heifer that ain't have no good for her, just try to move this along. If I befriend you, then you probably won't bring this up, so I won't do any damage to my family. So his whole thing is like, you held it down because look, I cannot speak for Scotty, I can't speak for Terrence, and I cannot speak for Josiah. But I understood what Chris was saying. Like, as a man, like when that shit happened, your whole thing is, you know how they say women go to mama bear mode, go to mother goose mode, because y'all know goose are on some shit. Like, don't fuck with the goss and the goose will get with your ass. So for him, he went into straight protective mode. Like, this is my family. This is my flock. This is my cubs. Like, y'all really trying to sit here and come at them, like, talk shit about me. Call me big boy. Talk shit about me. Talk shit about my wife, but don't dare allude to something that's going to impact my child that will eventually have to see this. So I, as a man, I understood where that frustration came from, because it's just like, you know what? If I don't do shit else, I'm going to stand for my motherfucking family. And him saying that, you know, because I think what he was saying is, had it been me in your shoes, I wouldn't have tried to play nice with these hoes. I would have read these bitches fulfilled every chance I got on stage with fucking Giselle. I would have said some shit about that tacky ass weed. We'll talk about those stove pipe lead. Would have asked, why look like you swallow a potato?
Why is the weave dry?
Right.
You know, be honest.
Like,
The weave is always dry. The weave is always dry.
Every chance I get. So his whole thing is, I respect the strength that you have. And we all give props to African-American women, because unfortunately, African-American women have to be strong about what we put on in a patriarchal society. So for him, it's just like, you had to sit here and be strong in a time where I couldn't, where I wanted to sit here and put some pause on people. You chose to sit here and go. Now, she played checkers, while Giselle's playing chess, though. But you went about this in such a way that I can only admire and aspire to do. I'm done. Y'all go ahead.
And I just want to just briefly piggyback. I know, Terrence, I'm sorry. Like, I just want to briefly piggyback. Yes, Chris is a man. So when you know, I have never really seen Chris too much invested in the mess, even through unlike other husbands, Michael ass. I have not seen Chris involved in too much of the BS and the mess. So this man is coming from tunnel vision. You're talking about my kids. Now I'm coming for y'all. And even in that live, when he said I was going to smack all these tricks, he was mad. And yes, he even apologized and said, I was wrong for what I said, but I was angry. And that makes him
right.
Okay.
It it was just funny because I was like, damn, Chris, like you ain't tired. And like he was just not tired. And like I admire his ride or die, his drive. That's what I wanted to see for Andy when it came to getting down. If you really wanted a resolution between Monique and Candace, if Andy had that drive for pressing, getting to what actually really happened, we might have had a resolution. So I admire Chris for that. He had me laughing my ass off.
Yeah, I felt like when Chris came and he had that energy, I definitely understood his energy being a parent. I wish they would have had that energy from the very beginning when Giselle came over to the house. Don't discuss my motherfucking child because I will be on your ass from beginning to the motherfucking end. And I think that that's where Monique definitely messed up, where she let her guard down being around that lady. The same energy that Chris came into that reunion with, Monique should have had that from beginning to end. I would have been on her ass.
And what you saying that his comment to her, to me, showcased that he was really pissed about it, but was trying to keep it cute because Monique wanted to keep it cute. But that whole comment was him being pissed about it. And she's sitting up there, well, who else would he look like, Chris? Like, bitch, don't do that shit. Honestly, I think what really exacerbated the situation was them constantly denying it, because I was getting pissed off.
That's why Giselle was really pissing me off. And as much as I have not been Team Monique, I did start to feel bad for them because Chris wasn't even trying to be as aggressive as they were trying to make him out to be. Hold on one second.
Ooh. Child.
Definitely with Robin, and I'm so glad Ron Dixon isn't here. I was just like, bitch,
Right.
you should have wanted him
He
here.
was like, guys, like he was even telling them, like, y'all, I'm not even trying to argue with y'all. Like, I'm just let me talk. And then Giselle over here getting even louder, and I'm like, shut the fuck up, so he could talk. And then even Andy is telling her to shut up, and I said, okay. So
She's being
some
disrespectful.
truth must be going on here because you not letting nobody say shit. I ain't like that at all.
Yeah, she was mad disrespectful to him, and I felt like was gaslighting him, and it really rubbed me wrong when she turned around to the security when he stood up because Chris was yelling at his wife. He was like, hold up, wait a minute. Like, it wasn't even no rah-rah shit. And she was like, why is he standing up? Tell him to sit his ass down. Like, all of that shit, honestly, if I was, that's another thing that pissed me off. If I was Monique, I'd have been like trying real hard to stay in my seat. Because if anybody would have talked to my husband like that, I'd have been halfway across the stage before she finished the statement. To be honest with y'all.
But I really do think that the editors had it out for Andy, because if you really think about it, the editors could have not aired none of that, unseen footage. I think they're tired of Andy too, because what Monique was saying is it was brought to the show, it was recorded for the show, whether or not you show the unseen footage or not, it was recorded, it was brought up. So I appreciate them showing it. And yeah, on some real shit, I understand that Chris probably played backseat to his wife, because had that been me, I would have handled that "you're in my house" scene a hell of a lot fucking differently. I would have played that shit completely fucking differently. You would have thought that I was being fucking aggressive, because you're not gonna walk into my house and I know good goddamn well that you done sit here and tried to sit here and cook up some shit about my wife and my kids, this, that, and the third. But Jamie, I want you to talk, because the chat been saying that you ain't been saying the whole lot. So go ahead and give us about a good 3 minutes on this. Come on, baby, talk to us.
But I think Terrence wanted to say something too. Terrence, did you want to say something?
Jamie can go ahead. Jamie can go ahead. No. I think the thing that sealed the deal for me was really let me know above and beyond that none of what Giselle has going on is real. It's the fact that she couldn't see a real man sticking up and standing up for the woman that he loves and for his family. Like the fact that Giselle was really sitting there stuck on stupid, like she just can't believe that he got the nerve and the gall to come up here after what he said about me on the live. Like my whole thing is, I talked about that live around the beginning of when the franchise even started. I talked about that shit. Giselle knew exactly what that man was trying to say, and Giselle knew that that man was not going to come up here and do anything remotely physical to harm any of them damn women. I'm just not here for Giselle and Jamal and them gaslighting these situations as it pertains to the Samuels. Like, first you running around here trying to gaslight a situation that he's kicking off in Monique ass, and then you got Giselle sitting up here literally feeling like he's really going to football tackle their ass. And if he did, I mean, listen, I'm not upset for him saying, you better be glad that God decided to make me a boy and not a girl, because if I was a woman, I would have stumped a mud hole in your ass the same size as a crater. Coming for my damn family, coming for me, coming for my children. Like, that's what he was saying. I don't necessarily feel like he was wrong for saying that. But what I am glad that he did was that he apologized. He said, listen, I was just in the moment. That wasn't what I meant. And much like everybody said, I love the fact that even though Giselle was trying to bait him with making him trying to make it seem as though he was an aggressor, I love the fact that he or Monique did not take the bait. He was still sitting there like, I'm not about to argue with you bitches. But just let me get my point across, and then that's that. And Robin, we all know Juan ain't there for the same reason why Michael ain't there, because they asses is there together. So you standing up here keep bringing up your husband, bitch. You better be careful constantly bringing him up, girl. I'm not trying to sit here and say that Juan is a punk, but I mean a linebacker in the league versus an NBA player. I mean, but I'm gonna leave it alone.
We all know that Juan was gonna get his ass whipped, and Juan never gave a fuck enough to try and fight on Robin's behalf. He don't care enough about her to fight on her behalf. If you ask me, I'm sorry, Scotty.
Well, I'm gonna say this. And I'm gonna say this. Did y'all hear what Giselle? Because first of all, Giselle was cussing her ass off to be a first lady of the church. She was an ass off. She said, "This big motherfucker." That's what she said. And I was looking at the TV like, that big motherfucker. That big motherfucker is here to do what Jamal failed to do for y'all fake ass storyline, which was to support his wife. Jamal was supposed to be there in that same position behind your tacky ass.
You're always alone.
That's number one.
And I agree.
So
I feel like if any of this was real and Giselle was really with him and I was a congregant of New Birth, I would have been left. Giselle is not the epitome of what a first lady is. Like me personally, I would feel some type of way if I was to saw my first lady sitting on camera behaving like this. I would be mortified. I would.
When it comes to the whole, because I understand we want to sit here and play around with the titles. I do understand that, because I know a lot of people got upset with Collection Play when he did his live. When he did his live, my only issue is I am all for someone being a man of the cloth, someone being religious. I'm okay with them being human. I am okay with that because we all are human. And we sometimes sit here and put so much stake in somebody's title. Now, my issue with Collection Plate is pick what you're going to be. Are you going to be past the Collection Plate? Or are you going to be, I live in Atlanta, but I'm from Baltimore where they ran my ass out of Baltimore Collection Plate? Which one you going to be? Now, when it comes to Turtleneck, for her, because you want to hold yourself in such a esteem as I am a prior first lady, first and foremost, your behaviors are not indicative of that of someone who was a first lady and is trying to be a first lady. With her using profanity and all this other stuff, I'm not going to be upset with her doing that, because regardless of how we all feel, when the smoke clears, we are all human. If we want to sit here and we want to talk about, things being biblical, because I have my Tanakh here, because y'all know I'm Jewish. I have my Tanakh here. If y'all go back and y'all read up on Moses and what happened with Moses, the only reason Moses did not make it to the promised land is not because he necessarily disobeyed God. It's because he was angry. Well, it was actually disobedience, not his anger, because God told him, speak to the rock. Out of frustration, he hit the rock. So in his frustration, he did something that was human, rather than something that was godly, which is what he was commanded to do. And as African Americans, we sit here and we put way too much into people that are they're not spiritual, people that are religious.
And listen, let me just right quick, because before I forget, Karen and her grand dame. Why is that everybody so aggravated about Karen and her grand dame shit? Why is that any different than Giselle and her first lady shit? Why is that any different? Because to me, I feel like she uses that shit to try to keep this like this position on the show. I'm the most anointed thing. Well, girl, anointed. Girl, your hair still
And
dry.
that's
What's
why.
anointed? Like
Right.
anoint it with oil, bitch.
And,
Anoint with oil. I'm sorry.
and that's
They
why I
said she hired
said
a
But
what
you
I
know,
bodyguard before
said.
she hired a stylist.
And that's why I said what I said. It's not so much of, I'm not expecting a person to fall short just because of a title that they hold. I think my thing for me is, if you're going to sit up here and say you're trying to protect Jamal's image, and much like in your tagline, you the most anointed thing talking, and not yah, but the only thing we get from you is Shaniqua ghetto fish from around the way tease, spreading rumors, starting lies, and talking junk about a person who has more than you do. Like, I kind of just feel like at that point, I just feel like if any of this was real, if she was ever a first lady, or if she ever wanted that title again, I just feel like if that was real, and I was in a church and I was a viewer of the show, and I see her and how she's carrying on, I just feel like it wouldn't be for me.
And let me just say this, reading one of the comments. We're not saying that Giselle can't be a Christian.
Right,
Okay?
right,
We're not saying that she can't
right,
believe in the Lord. What we
right,
are saying is, don't put yourself on a pedestal as the first lady of a church. So whom much is given, much is required. And you're supposed to have more decorum about yourself if you expect to administer to other people. You can't minister to someone when you show up in the world as someone who is severely damaged and out of control
right,
of their mental and emotional, the way Giselle is. I'm sorry,
right.
but tonight showed how out of control Giselle was, because Giselle was pissed for the rest of the show. Not just the way she talked to Chris, but when they asked her at the end about it, like, we're fine. I talked to Jamal. We're fine. Girls, lies and garbage.
I feel like Terrence and Bobby, y'all hit that right on the head. It's different than Karen, because we've at least seen Karen somewhat adjacent to luxury, to being grand dame. As long as we have known Giselle, we have never seen any of her actions or behaviors. I don't even think we've seen a scene with Giselle in the church, have we?
No.
We only saw
When she
one,
came
and
to New
that was
Orleans,
in Virginia
okay.
with
I
Karen.
don't
That was
know.
the only time we saw her in a church, is when she went with Karen when they were in Virginia.
Okay,
Oh,
right.
okay.
But and then my other thing is, I want to know, which we probably won't have an answer, is Jamal claiming Giselle as first lady now that they are dating, or is he even referring to her,
He
bringing her
said
up?
he was single. He said he was
Right.
single. She
That's
can't be a first lady.
That's what I'm saying.
And
How
in
you
order to be a
claiming
first
to be
lady
first lady
by
on this
Christian
show?
standards, you have to be married.
But see, that's what I'm saying about how she holds that title over
Yeah,
people, and it's not even you're not even really that anymore.
it's
So
not
it's
real.
Right.
it's funny to me how she always, oh, Karen was being so fake with the grand dame. It's like, in all honesty, I felt Karen was more grand dame this season than any previous season, and it was because we saw the way she grew up. I had no idea that she grew up as the little princess on the farm. Okay, like, I actually really love to see that side of Karen in her history, and to me, I understand why she saw herself in that light. Okay, because her upbringing made her feel like, self-important, and there's nothing wrong with that. But we just didn't like the way she hoarded it over the lady's head and was always trying to critique somebody, but then want to turn around and talk trash about people. Okay, so we definitely can see the hypocrisy in Karen, but I would like for us to call it out in Giselle as well, with her trying to act like she, is really out here administering to somebody, when really, girl, you just a messy old bitch that now has a TV show to be
Back
messy on.
to now back to well, back to me trying to finish my point in regards to Chris and Giselle. Since we're talking about Giselle, I just really feel like this, and I think it's just pretty much matter of fact when it comes down to this. I do understand Chris's, energy. But at the same time, just like I said about Monique early on in the season, this is the same energy that should have been had towards Giselle from the very beginning. This is the one who deserved all of the heat. This is the one that deserved all of the bullets. And I know that Monique felt as though she needed to be cordial with her for the sake of the job. But to be honest, I can't see myself being cordial with someone that hates my guts, that sat there at a dinner table and he plotted against me and my fucking family and said this and that and all of this other stuff. Like, I can't see that. And I know a lot of people were calling me, there were some people that I, discussed this show with that called me immature for that mentality. But I'm just going to tell you like this. This could be the Aquarius in me, or it could be that Taurus moon that's in me too. But when I don't fuck with you, I don't fuck with you. I'm not going to lunch with you. We're not having a drink together, because if we having one together, I might throw it in your fucking face. I don't fuck with you. You don't exist. You dead to me. You already 6 feet under when I don't fuck with you. I would never speak your name. I'm not even speaking your name. I'm giving you a fucking nickname, bitch, because at the end of the day, you don't even deserve my lovely voice saying your motherfucking name. So I feel like Monique tried to be, cordial with Giselle about a motherfucking thing, simply because of the fact that this is like from day one. From the moment your ass said that you had 4 fucking homes, she didn't like you. So I just feel like they all try to get, and this is a reoccurring theme on these reality shows, they all trying to get with the popular girls, and the popular girls is Gizzard and Robin. Both of these bitches tacky as fuck. They can't dress. They ain't got no style about they. So I don't know why the fuck they so damn popular. But it's just like with the Basketball Wives. Everybody wants to be down with Jennifer, Evelyn, and Shawnee and shit like that. So it's just like Potomac Housewives. These bitches down with the count, and I don't understand it. So Monique made the wrong move by trying to be, cozy and warm, teddy bearish with this bitch. This is how I feel on it. Go ahead, Uriel.
The only thing that I want to say is, even when we deal with this, I'll use me and you as an example. Our perspectives are going to be different. And I know people may get tired of me bringing up the military, but again, that's 11 good years of my life. I just turned 34 last, Wednesday? 23rd?
Thank you for your services, Uriel.
Belated birthday.
Thank you. But even with that, and being in the military, like my first 4 years being a private specialist and then becoming a non-commissioned officer, in the very beginning, I was still very much, man, I don't fuck with you. I don't care. I'm gonna talk my shit. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do that. As I progressed in my military career, unfortunately, I can sit here and continue to be, Yarrell from the west side of Chicago and possibly put myself in a situation to where I can't get out of dealing with people that outrate me, because I mostly fell out with those that outrate me. I'll be all the way honest. But I learned in such a way how to coexist. Y'all call it petty or whatever, but again, for this, I live this 24/7, 365 on and off leave. So for me, I had to learn how to be able to some way coexist with people that I don't fucking like, I can't fucking stand, to get to the next point, especially when the valuations and everything are in place. And with the Real Housewives franchise, because I can't speak for other reality shows, it's very pressure cooker. And they're doing this for, I'll say, maybe 6 to 8, maybe 9 months out of a year, where they're forced to be together. So in some way, shape, form, or fashion, trying to move in such a way like, I'm going to get along to just get along. Part of that comes with experience. Part of that comes with different life experiences. So for you, Scotty, in your everyday life, that's something that you would never do. I'm going to keep it 1,000. If I never went off to the military, I probably still wouldn't give a fuck shit. When I was working at Target before I went off to the military, when I tell you I cut a motherfucking food every day, we would have huddles. I raise my hand, calling out the team leads and everything else, to the point where they stopped calling on me. My hand is raised like this. They would act like I didn't raise my motherfucking hand. But things change, things
Let
shape
me
you. So I
back you up, Urel. Let me back
oh
you
go ahead.
up right quick. I
Go ahead.
totally agree. Y'all know, a lot of y'all know that I was a photojournalist in local news for like a good 8 years of my life. So I worked in corporate America and I worked in the news business. The very tough businesses to work in, very time consuming, all encompassing. Okay. So there were many times when I used to get into it with my bosses, but I still had to come around and smile. I mean, I've had times when my boss came into my edit bay and wanted me to sing a little tune for him, like basically wanting me to step and fetch it for you. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's been a lot of times where I've been put in situations where I've had my boss ask me, why are black people bothered by the N-word? There have been so many times where I have put into positions where if I really didn't care about my livelihood, I would have cursed them the fuck out. But I had to remember that I need my career. It wasn't just a job, it was a career to me. So I had to put my immediate anger to the side in order to think about the long game. So I do understand where Urel is coming from. And there's a piece of me that does understand why Monique handled it the way she did. But I still agree that looking back on it, that wasn't in her best interest. Her best interest would have been to come on the show straight off with like, these hoes been bothering me since we've been on break. And this is what all went down. But I also understand that that would have put her in a position where everybody would have lied like they did at the reunion and made her look even more crazy. You know what I'm saying? And I would just like everybody in the comments to remember that I don't care what y'all say. I do believe that Candace was the first person to talk about the plot on social media, and then Monique and Chris responded to that, because I was reading some of the comments and some of y'all seem to believe that that's not the way it happened, and that's definitely the way it happened. So regardless, I still understand it, but I feel like she was kind of going at Candace because, for one, okay, yeah, you probably felt a little hurt by Candace not being honest with you, but also because, like y'all have said, she was somebody who was going to return that energy, and when she was an easy mark. They didn't really feel no type of way about Candace the way they do about Giselle or the way they do about Robin. But I also feel like they don't handle Monique that same way. They don't go at Monique head first the way Candace did. They find other people to go. You know what I'm saying? They all do it passive aggressively versus the way Candace is just like, I'm about to read you until I can't read you no more.
And right quick, I just want to say one quick thing, and I responded to this in the comments, but because I'm on my phone doing it, it won't necessarily add the person. But this isn't an attack; it really isn't. But I see people bringing up, why do I correlate, or why do I try to connect things to me being in the military and me and my religion and my faith? That's because when it comes to my faith, this is what I believe. It's what I've lived. When it comes to me being in the military, I'm 34 years old. I did 11 years in the military. So 1/3 of my lifespan, my adult life, was that of the military. We all have different life experiences. So when we do these reviews, we tend to lean on and correlate things to what we've experienced, how our upbringing, our experiences, and everything else. So when I do that, it's merely me, bringing forth what it is that I know. So if I bring something from a religious standpoint, it is what it is. If I go from a philosophical or historical standpoint, it is what it is. When I bring up the military, just like I don't like when 444 bring her degrees, and I said in one of my reviews, I understand why she does it. It's just a little too much on every other episode. But this is why some of us do that. So that's just me kind of putting into perspective of if when I do it, I realize that it's probably going to upset some people. But because, again, 1/3 of my life, my adult life, was that of me being in the armed forces. A lot of what I experienced to that. And for those who have never been in the armed forces, and it's not a dig towards y'all, unfortunately, this is something that you will never understand.
Listen, you ain't
Well,
gotta
okay.
explain yourself. Listen, I believe with everything that you have going on, I believe everything that you say. All right, because you're just a smart man. You know what I'm saying? Listen, it don't matter because you was in the military or that you a Jew or anything like that. That don't bother me. Hell, I'm a nurse and I'm a Baptist, but that doesn't go correlate with life experience and things that I know and this, that, and this. Like, you articulate yourself very well. You ain't gotta explain yourself to none of these people. Shit.
Very well.
Yes, I love to hear your World War II stories and everything you give it. I love to hear.
Not World War II. That was back.
Look,
Wasn't that back in the
Well,
it
40s?
was nigga Sophia
you know, you
Petrillo out this
OP.
bitch.
I can't believe you just gave me a compliment and read me at the same time. But you know
I
what?
love it.
But you know
It
what?
was,
I'm gonna let
yeah.
the registered nurse say that shit, and I'm gonna let you live tonight. Go ahead.
Sorry,
But
y'all.
to piggyback off what you and Ivy were saying, it's for me. It's just like this. Like I get what y'all trying to say as far as coexisting with a person, but I don't know. Maybe I just see coexist a little bit differently. I can coexist with a person all day. That don't mean I need to talk to you. That don't mean I need to go to lunch with you. Coexisting means I'm not going upside your head, in my opinion. Because there's people that I work with that I coexist with all the time. I just pretend like they're not there. I mean, and that includes my boss. Like I pretend like he's not even in my peripheral at all. Like I walked past him like 4 or 5 times a day at work and didn't say a word to him. He looked at me dead in my face. He was waiting for me to speak all 5 times and I didn't say anything. I mean, it's
I do that.
it's
I used
just
to do
like
that too,
once I
Scotty.
don't fuck with you and once you have pissed me. Yes, I mean, I can't. Like, when I don't fuck with you, I swear to God, I don't fuck with you. I really mean it. Like, there's levels to my dislike for a person. When I dislike you, I can be cordial. I can speak. And I say, hey, move on about my business. But when I don't fuck with you, it ain't just to be said at that point when I don't fuck with you, period. I can't, like, at all. That's why I can't do reality TV. I always say, like, if people be trying to tell me, you know what I mean, you should be on one of these little LGBT web series and
No,
shit
I
like that. That's
shouldn't.
why I always say no. That's why I always say no, because I can't pretend with someone. Like, if I don't like you, I don't like you. I don't want to be around you. Like, and I'll be the one to fuck up the show. They'll fire me the first season. I can't fuck with people and be around them and have all these pleasantries with them, and I don't like them. I can't. And I know that Terrence and Josiah know me well enough to know that when I don't fuck with them, oh, I don't fuck with you. Period.
Honey,
No,
yes, I
no.
I'm
know.
So
sorry,
Scott,
but your rail in the church finger is killing me.
because I'm trying to be respectful. I'm trying to be respectful, but somebody pretty much in the comments, I guess, is wanting us to talk about Andy and his performance. Though I think we did it, but if y'all would agree, can we devote just 10 minutes maybe to just read Andy all the way the fuck down for what he displayed last week and this week? Can we do that? Can we just give him a good 10 minutes maybe?
Well, I really ain't got that much to say to Andy. The only thing that I didn't like about Andy was when he was basically coming from Onique's music, but he be sitting up here, like he said, oh, so you do music? It's not that great ever, but he be sitting up here bigging up these white hoes when they be put music on Jersey and shit. Like he be bigging these bitches up like they fucking Britney Spears or some shit. Like, come on now, like you doing too much. That's really the only thing that I can say about it because I'm kind of tired of him. I'll let y'all grab him.
But before I go off about Andy right quick, are y'all seeing in the comments that they saying they had Monique at a different hotel for the reunion?
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I
No.
saw one of the
I
comments.
didn't
I ain't
see
know
her
that.
say
They
that
do
on
it
the
on there
interview or
all about
something. I
the
think you need to
reunion.
speak to that.
I mean, I just kind of feel like it doesn't even matter. I feel like they did that to make sure that Candace was comfortable and felt safe. And I'm absolutely fine with that, but I do feel like it just brings me once again back to like Basketball Wives. Like, I'm not even gonna lie, it does kind of just put me in that frame of mind, but I'm gonna let that go. As far as Andy is concerned, I feel like Andy has been turning me off ever since that season of Real Housewives of Atlanta, where we saw what Kim Zolciak did that whole season. And then after, he made it seem as if the girls ganged up on Kim when really everybody just had issue with her. And the reunion is the time and the place to put that out on the table and voice that she was not attacked, but she gave everybody her ass to kiss on the show. So I was really annoyed with the way he handled it after, because while they were on stage, it was all good. But they go back into, the her dressing room, and it was a totally different situation. So I feel like he's been like that. And that's when I really started to notice. And then he went on the Breakfast Club in that fucking Adidas fit. And I felt like he was pandering to black people because we were so upset with him because it was coming off real racist. And I have said before that I feel like just because you're a white gay man, that does not mean that you're exempt from being racist and handling people in a racist, prejudiced way. And I feel like Andy definitely handles the black housewives who make him more money with less respect than he does for the white housewives who honestly their shows are kind of throwaways as far as I'm concerned.
Because I have experienced this as well, like racism from white gay men, like being rejected all the time. You know, like, oh my God, like you're not who I'm looking for. Like, oh my God, like, oh, they fetishize. But that's another conversation for another day.
I'm still not over Kim Zolciak saying I'm the only white bitch dumb enough to be on here with this stage, and then she got her own show the next season. I will never forget her saying that. And whenever she said that, he consoled her even after the fact. So I don't know if I would say Andy definitely shows prejudice or preferences to who he caters to. He just treats them differently. I don't think it's like something that he consciously thinks about. Like most people, you know, people really think that they be, especially white gay men, they side with, not all of them, a lot of them side with being a part of a minority, which is a gay minority, but they don't understand the entire scheme of being black and being trans and being this and being that. So
Niecy.
I think that's his fault.
Listen, I want to go in. I'm gonna just say this. I feel like when it comes to white gay men or just white gay people, period, they don't understand like being black and gay or the minority, you know, like the minority. So I feel like when it comes to him dealing with the other women, or, you know, he does treat the black women differently, or, you know, just treat them more harsh. It is me, from my opinion, from my personal opinion, dealing with, you know, gay white guys, they can be harsh on black people, and it is what it is. Just because we're both gay, you still have racist intents. And I'm not saying this about Andy directly, just on my experience with other guys, but
I'm gonna bring up Titus right quick. Can I bring up Titus? Y'all remember when Titus was on Watch What Happens Live and Andy tried to bait him into talking bad about Eddie Murphy because, you know, Eddie Murphy had made, I guess, some homophobic jokes in the 80s when everybody was making homophobic jokes. I feel like that was one of the times when I feel like Andy was trying to do that whole black versus gay thing. Like, are you going to prove that you care more about your gayness than your blackness? And I think Titus clocked him. So that's why I feel like he definitely does it in other ways and in other, you know, places and with other people. And I feel like it shows enough to where I feel, and plus, why after all these years with all these black housewives, why we still got to explain satin bonnets and satin hats to you and what that does to black hair? Am I the only one all these times that you done came back here with these women getting their hair and their makeup done, and this is the first time y'all have had these types of conversations? It just makes me feel like he's very far removed from the black housewives. He shows up to deal with them, and then that's it.
Absolutely. As far as a lot of gay white men is very disconnected with the black struggle, and I cannot deal with that. I can't. Like, you can't be What?
Oh, no, I said, listen, that's not the only time. Andy has been known to bait people. Let's not forget, Andy did the same thing to Patti LaBelle when he tried to bait her into talking about what Luther Vandross had going on the back end. Like, he always does that. And it seems like people fall for the banana in the tailpipe all the time, but then you get a few good ones that got a little bit of experience and know a little something about themselves. And they like, hold on, bitch, this ain't what we about to do. We're not about to do that. And whenever he gets those types, you could tell it because he beats Bob all over his face.
You would think as a gay man, he wouldn't be trying to out Luther Vandross, especially posthumously. I know we all know, you know, we've all had our conversations about it and know somebody that knows somebody that know Luther and knew what's going on.
Okay.
But still, it seemed to me that there's less respect for black gay men than you have for other white gay men who you put on pedestals. That's all. That's all.
somebody who have experienced it firsthand, you know, racism treatment from white gay men, completely. They look down on us like, oh, like even like grind. I'm gonna be real. You know, I'm single, whatever. I'll be on these dating apps, Grindr, Jack, all these different type of, you know, dating apps. And it will be multiple white men that be like, oh my God, I'm sorry. Like, or they will just talk about like my penis size. Or they will ask like, oh, well, I'm sorry, I'm not interested in black men. I only date, you know, men within my race. Which is fine, but at the same time, like, dude, like that's low key racist. Like, what do you only see us as like fetish? You know what I'm saying? Like they only see black men as a fetish for what they big D, what they got to offer. And that's
Yeah, don't ask to
listen,
see my
that's the
dick if
same
you ain't
thing.
interested in dating me.
But listen, that's the same thing that Heaven and Jen doing on Salt Lake City. But that's a whole nother story for a whole nother day. We're not here to talk about that.
Ciao.
Well, is it racist of me to say that I don't date black? I mean, that I don't like to date white men. I'm not interested in them. Is that racist?
Somebody just said I want a white man. No, like, you know, I listen. I'm attracted to what I'm attracted to. I don't discriminate at all.
I think that it is racist to ask to see Josiah's penis because you like big black dick, but then you don't want to date him because he's black. I think that's when it's
That's
racist
right.
because you're fetishizing somebody. But as a black person or even a white person, no, I think it's normal to want to date within your ethnicity because it's just more so I like what looks like me. Like even when it comes to facial features, a lot of us don't even realize we're attracted to our own facial features in other people. So it's more so about a likeness than anything. But I still feel like there's definitely a fetishizing on Salt Lake City. I clock Heather as soon as she got up there and talked about the black men that she like and all that, talking about she a pioneer. I say, oh no, that sounds like a colonizer to me.
Honey, listen, like it gets real. It definitely gets real. I mean, that's a whole deep another conversation, but black men do get fetishized, even like straight and gay guys, you know, for their big BD, big, you know, BBC or whatever. So it's not it. It's not it at all. And most of
I
them
hate
guys,
that C word.
huh?
I hate that C word. I only hear it in white porn. I hate it. I'm so glad you abbreviated.
I hate it too.
Yeah.
Lord,
I
I hate
don't like
it
the word
too.
either. That's why I had to abbreviate it the way.
But
I
you know,
was like,
one
is
thing
he
I
gonna
will
say?
say
No, I
is
wasn't gonna
when it
say
comes to dating and relationships, just in general, though, like if you have a preference, there is absolutely nothing wrong with you having a preference. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. But if we speak with individual ethnicities, I don't like saying race because in terms of race, it's the human race, so we're all of the human race. But in terms of ethnicity, if you are more fond of this ethnicity over your own, that's perfectly fine. The issue comes more or less with the whole racism, colorism thing is when, and this happens a lot with African Americans, and when it comes to entertainment and hip hop, where you down your own ethnicity and uplift someone else. That's when it becomes an issue. But what I will say is, we've seen on Bravo where there is an issue when it comes to complexion and ethnicity, like with the Shahs of Sunset. I haven't reviewed that in a while, and I was rocking with Mike mostly because, you know, hey, at first Mike seemed to be the realest, and he happened to be Jewish. But then when he would blow up, he would always bring up African American men and comparing himself to African American men amongst other things, and that really took me backwards. It's like, okay, so did one of your exes happen to date an African American man, and this is why you so in your feelings? Because every time you feel unworthy and less than, your whole thing is to compare yourself to African American men, to an African American man, I should say, because men is.
Well,
But
you know, a lot of this racism comes to me from the big black, you know, envy. It's a lot of envy. It's a lot of envy in that area. Just saying.
But even with the whole fetish thing, when it comes to ethnicities in general, in a wide spectrum, we all fetishize, if that is the word, other ethnicities. So you have a lot of non-African Americans that tend to have fetishes over us because of perspective, perception, and everything else. And especially with the entertainment industry, a lot of African American, more or less men, tend to fetishize over those
exotics. The
Exactly,
exotics.
exotic. That's the word. Thank you. So, I mean, that's the thing.
And I just want to say that on Salt Lake
Well,
City, them girls' faces is terrible, y'all. I'm sorry, but Heather and Jen's faces, I just be
Baby,
like,
Heather, poor
girl, don't get too
girl. Heather's
close.
jawline is so damn
Mm.
strong. And I listen, you know, I don't have an issue with Heather, but her jawline, woo!
It be the lips for me. It be like all of the
What's
filler
that?
in the lips, and then they.
What's that movie where? What's that movie where the dude is wearing a mask and the people got to do all these tasks? The white mask with the
So,
red.
so
Is that what it is? That's what
yeah.
Jen looks like she getting close to. If she keep
I
injecting her
was
cheeks.
Yeah, I was getting Mrs. Doubtfire. Y'all know when they was like making a clay mask on Mrs. Doubtfire, like
Okay, hey, Bondi, right quick. I want to say this. Do not disrespect Miss Doubtfire. Because y'all go back, her lace front, her wig.
you was on. Was on.
For the early 90s, yeah.
Yes.
Okay, all right.
I just meant, you know how there was a part of the movie where they was just showing like clay mask and it was just kind of moving the clay around and it looked real weird. I think the little girl was watching it or something like that, but it reminds me of their faces, like somebody's just moving it with their fingers and it's staying there. Yeah, they doing way too much filler. And Mary Bleach is way too much. I'm
listen,
done.
I have nothing to say. I have nothing to say about Salt Lake City. I haven't watched it since my last review that I did on the show. So, child,
Same. I
I'm
haven't.
sure I'm not
I'm not
missing
caught up.
anything. I ain't got nothing to say about that. But just to close the conversation on Andy out, I don't know if it's a situation of being racist, but I do know that Andy does have favorites because realize that even the Housewives of Beverly Hills, if you guys watch it, he was doing the same thing to Denise Richards. Women were coming at her crazy, and he was siding with them. Or even on the Housewives of Atlanta, he does come across as if he doesn't like Kenya Moore sometimes.
Oh yeah.
Or it's he has that favorite thing on every. I want to say. I don't know. If you guys watch Beverly Hills, I'm just gonna say this. I don't like Vile at all. And when I say Vile, I mean Byle, Vile, meaning Kyle Richards. I don't like her. I just want to say that. I call her Vile, not Kyle. That's what I call her.
So
Listen, I don't even watch them hoes, so I don't even know who you talking about.
well, I haven't watched those women yet. I'll get to them after I finish New Jersey. But what I will say is, again, like I really can't call Andy Cohen racist, only because one, I don't know him, and two, I haven't watched all of the Real Housewives franchise to really come to a certain conclusion because I've only watched Potomac and Atlanta, and y'all heard me say I just not started New Jersey from the last time we got with the panel. But what I will say is based off how he has been with the New Jersey women, and these are Italian women who are also European American, but Italian women compared to the African American women, or the ADOS women, for those of y'all who want to hear that, from Potomac and Atlanta, he doesn't keep that same energy. My thing is, if you kept this same energy with everyone, like if it was one of those where, look, I am the boss, I'm coasting the show, I'm just here to get it all out. Like I might like you personally, but me liking you ain't got shit to do with what we're doing right now. Like if you literally win at every person equally, because even me watching New Jersey, he let some of those women off. Some of those women were able to tell him, let's move on to the next topic. And he moves to the next topic. Like, you're the executive producer. You're the host. You don't let, and don't get mad when I say this, but you don't let the help tell you to move on to the next topic. If you got shit to say, this is your shit. You say no. we're going to stay right here and we're going to talk about this. I still can't figure out why he let damn it, I can't remember the girl name, but one of the New Jersey housewives, I can't remember her name right now, but he let her not come to a whole reunion because of the mental drama, the mental stress that she endured. So it was okay for her not to be at the reunion and for her to still get full pay, but you wouldn't let these African American women sit out a reunion because of something that occurred on the show, regardless.
I mean, damn, Nene husband had cancer, and all she did was put the laptop down, and they fired her. Like, damn.
But what I'm saying is, but he doesn't keep this same energy.
Right.
So have someone like Nene Leakes, despite the fact that I love season 1, season 2 Nene. That's the Nene that I like. Fuck the nose jobs. That's the Nene that I like. After season 2, I couldn't really fuck with Nene.
Lanithia. We like Lanithia.
But outside of that, it's like, but you don't keep the same energy when, as from right now, between these 3 franchises amongst the European American, Italian housewives and the African American housewives, you don't keep the same energy. So yes, that does make you come off as being racist. Not saying that he is, but that is the impression that it gives off. Now, if he was the same across the board with everyone, no one would have anything to say.
I don't even think it's that he has his favorite. I think it's like the overall treatment of the cast and like the way he treats the shows as a whole. Like, you know, we even talked about before how he'll get rid of shows with Black people on it. He'll get rid of their shows. But we got some of these housewife shows that are all white cast. And it's like, is anybody even still watching that? Do people still watch Don't Be Tardy for the Party? You know, are we looking up their ratings every week the way y'all do for Real Housewives of Atlanta to see if they still at the top? Because if not, you're going to take their spot from them.
Whoever watched Don't Be Tardy? I don't know nobody that's ever watched that bullshit. Ain't nobody watching that. And they ratings was what she wasn't getting up but 500 to 600,000 500 to 600,000 viewers every week. She should have been canceled a long fucking time ago. Ain't nobody watching.
Scotty, I never watched Don't Be Tardy. I haven't. And on one of my, trending topics videos, I literally did a video scrolling down all of the views per season. But what I will say is this: unfortunately, Grandmaster Zodiac, White Hood Zodiac, I don't see it for them. But what I will say in her defense, and I cannot believe that I'm coming to this heifer's defense, when it comes to shooting a series or a season with a family, where a lot of the scenes are going to be together in, certain isolated locations, it's cheaper to shoot these scenes rather than with an ensemble cast where it's multiple houses. We're going to this restaurant, this villa, this vacation, this. I think that is one part of the reason why it's still on the air. And also for any African Americans that are watching Don't Be Tardy, and I don't judge them for it, they're only watching it because when did we first see, Party City Wig? When did we first see, Big Thick Chin, Kim Zolciak? We saw her on The Real Households of Atlanta. So a lot of those African Americans drew to that because of that. Again, I try my best not to defend this heifer, but I got to give credit when it's due.
I mean, the damn song is from Nene and Candy. Really, it was Nene's idea to do the song, and then it was Candy that produced it. Don't be funny, body.
For the body.
When you said Grandmaster Zodiac, you made me think about her and Sweetie. And then the last episode of Salt Lake City I seen was Mary and her cousin, and she immediately made me think about Sweetie.
Girl, I was so mad when she was like, I don't know anything about her outside of this. Bitch, that's your cousin. What do you mean? Yeah. I don't like her.
And she said, I've had her for 6 years. Like she was just the help. I'm like, Mary, if you don't.
Mary is like, well. Yeah, she is from the little bit that she is. But guys, I think it's about time to wrap this one up because we've been on here for over 3 hours and I am getting
It was an
sleepy
hour and 30 minute
already.
reunion, so much needed.
Yeah. Yeah, we've been on here for over 3 hours. I've been drinking the whole time. Bundy been eating. I don't know what the fuck she eating, but she fucking it up. Um, is it is there any parting words that each of you have before we get this shit down?
I would
Anybody?
like to say that regardless of what everybody, may think, we really don't care that much. And after this is over, it'll just be over, y'all. And this shirt will go to the cleaners and then back in my closet to be worn for brunch one day. Okay. It is not a big deal, you guys. It's just a show. I think it went way too deep on the show, which is why I think the fans took it so personal when their specific ideals weren't accepted by their blogger, whoever they watch, whatever. But I would just like to say I really enjoyed this, and I need for us to figure out another show to do this with, because I really enjoy doing this.
Ooh, how about growing up hip hop Atlanta?
Oh my God, I was just about to say that, T.
We can.
We probably could lump in whatever we catch from Salt Lake City, growing up hip hop, and Atlanta all in one.
And then Basketball Wives is coming back too. Them girls are coming back. They all filming in the house, so I'm down for that.
And they just
When
finished
was
wrapping.
Basketball
That
Wives
may be
come
out
back?
sometime January, February.
Child, probably in a few months because they just wrapped filming like 2 weeks ago. So
Okay,
hopefully
I'm
some new footage will be coming out soon.
Yeah, we could just do a little wrap up.
Are you guys? Meriton Medicine is also on the way back. They've been done
I
filming
forgot
maybe a
about
month and a half
them.
ago. They're back. And
Y'all can have it.
are you guys gonna watch that third reality? Are y'all gonna watch the other reality show that's coming out on network called The Bill Collective? Y'all gonna watch it?
I'm gonna check it out. I'm gonna check it
Y'all
out.
check it out.
I love me some Carlos King, so yeah, I'll give it a try.
Well, I will say that I will hope that you guys review it because I do know someone on that show personally because she's from my hometown, Latrice. She's on the cast. And I did DM her and I did tell her that I would talk to some bloggers that I know to see if they would like to review the show. So if y'all want to review the show, go right ahead. She'll probably be watching the reviews and shit like that. But yeah, I do know somebody out that show because she's from my hometown. We live like 20 minutes outside of Jackson. So we went to high school together. She's my cousin's cousin and my cousin's ex roommate's best friend, so I know her.
Not your
That's why I was in my
sister-in-law
last.
Tracy's baby cousin.
Right. Child.
Remember when I told you guys that the last time I was in a fight was like over like 9 or 10 years ago. She was there. She was fighting too. So that was years ago. She was with me when we fought. So yeah, I will check that out. But we're gonna continue. We're gonna continue. I changed it from the Housewives panel to the reality panel because I wanted to bring in other shows into this because I know that people, regardless of whether they hate watching or not, they do like us together. They do see the chemistry and they do see that we do good things together. So I do want to continue on with this panel. I know that the House of Atlanta ain't really about shit, but that's one thing. We could discuss growing up hip hop. We could discuss Bill Collective when it does come out, and we could discuss Basketball Wives. I don't know what else is coming. I know Love and Hip Hop is coming, but I don't know which one is coming. But I do know, like Bundy said, they have like a 4 week special that they got coming out. I don't know about it. I don't or something like that. So continue with this. I'm sorry, but we already talked about Monique quitting from the child. Y'all gonna have to wait for the replay for this. But I say we'll be back next Monday because the Housewives of Atlanta is back Sunday, and even though we know that it's probably not gonna be about shit, we'll probably have to add something else to that topic so we can have more to talk about, I guess. But yes, like I said before, I always say this, but I really do appreciate you guys agreeing to be a part of this panel. I know that it started off as a random ass idea. I did not know that it was gonna go or turn into this. So I do appreciate everybody that's on here and everybody that agreed to do it. That's number one. Because without y'all, there wouldn't be no panel. Real talk. And I do appreciate everybody up here. I appreciate everybody in the chat. And by the way, we had 800 people in here tonight. That's the most we've ever had on a panel. 800 damn people. So we can clap for our damn selves for that. There's 800 people in one chat. But I'm tired. I know everybody else is tired. So we out of here, y'all.
So Scotty, what I want to say, well, first before I say my piece, I know Bonnie knows this song, you know. Better yet, Scotty, I know you know this song because you know Mama D. We all love us some Mama D, where she said in in their order, 2 claps and a dab. I think that's what we gonna get is 2 claps and a dab, you know what I'm saying. But with the season, I enjoyed it. For the panel, what I think we probably should do is, in addition to the Households of Atlanta, we should probably even also, until we get other shows coming, discuss, trending topics, because I'm pretty sure we all have our own views on those things. But that's one thing, maybe doing that. Second, I want to say to, those who are watching us, especially if y'all took anything from me, like I said, when it comes to Candace, and if she ever watches this, like I said, love you down, love Monique. But again, Candace will love you down. If somebody asks you when they come on your platform, yeah, tell their ass, a brand new asshole. And if you feel that you going at them might be a little sideways, hit the block button. That way, when they at you, it's not going to come at you because you didn't block them. It's that simple. And for the subscribers that I've gained over the last couple of weeks, I love you. Thank you for joining the fam. My new name is going to be Yocrates. So probably by the end of this week, I will change my name. So it will no longer be spilling all the tea. So y'all don't confuse me with Terrence Bondi. So I love you, Bondi, but I'll be changing my name. For those of you on the panel, well, fuck that. So
hey, I know y'all real names. Shit.
So for Scotty, Josiah, for Sakina, for Jamie, for Nisi, for Terrence, Bondi. If I didn't already say Bondi. Well, thank y'all for being receptive of me. Thank y'all for letting me come on here. Thank y'all for allowing me to just unapologetically be myself and, give y'all my ratchet along with the education and the experience that I have. I'm glad that not only those who are subscribed to Scotty and you all have embraced me, I'm glad that you all have as well. And I can't wait to see what we do next week.
Josiah, Terrence, any last words?
I do want to say something. Listen, you guys are freaking amazing. I really do enjoy. This is like therapy because right now I can't really go to therapy due to I'm in a transition from moving houses to finding new jobs and stuff. So this is like therapy to me, and I really do enjoy it. And I know that a lot of y'all call me the Cynthia Bailey, honey, of the panel because y'all be saying I'll be doing nothing, I'll be bringing nothing. But I really do enjoy like the conversation, and you guys are amazing. Like even the fans, like I really do like going back and forth with you guys or just interacting with you all. So thank you everything for that. I am working on. I will be reviewing Growing Up Hip Hop Atlanta on camera, and then also to be doing more on camera footage with Little Women. Little Women is coming back with the whole, what's her name? Oh my God, one of the ladies passed away, but I'll be doing my commentary on that because I did it back in the day. So
it was Miss Minnie.
Miss Minnie, yes, Miss Minnie passed away, so I'll be doing commentary on Little Women and also Growing Up Hip Hop Atlanta. So just be on the look for that.
Not Cynthia Bailey of the panel.
Oh, wait. You guys. That shit is hilarious.
So
But
first,
somebody just asked about the song. Like, what did we think about the song on Monique's video? Did y'all see it like before everybody leave? Because we didn't even talk about that.
I didn't
Trash.
see it.
Have y'all heard the song?
I haven't seen it.
I
I
have
haven't
heard a
seen
little
it
bit
yet.
of it.
I
Okay.
haven't heard nor seen
Clips.
it yet.
Okay. All right, then I guess we'll table it.
I won't be.
Yeah, well,
Anything?
I just want to say thank y'all again for having me. How long has it been? It's been a couple weeks since I first joined the panel, and honestly, a majority of my subscribers are from the exposure with y'all. Thank y'all for sharing y'all's platforms. Thank you to the viewers who have common sense and can understand or not always agree with what we have to say. So thank y'all for, just being receptive of what I have to say and things like that. I have fun with y'all, so I can't wait to keep on reviewing. Y'all know where to find all of us, so thanks.
I'm just happy to be here. Thanks for having me. Thanks to the viewers for hanging out for a full 3 hours. Y'all get up here and y'all do it with us every Monday. So we definitely appreciate that. Shout out to my new subscribers as well. You guys have been going ham. I definitely appreciate it. Thank you, Scotty, for allowing me to be a part of this panel. I do appreciate that. And I'm excited to see, what's the next for us and how, our relationships continue to develop as we're over here in YouTube land.
All right. Well, since Scotty is forcing me to talk, I want to thank all of the T Squad and the gang for being all up and through the chat. I appreciate y'all. I seen y'all up in here. Girl, anybody got time for you? Shout out for everybody that is up here on the platform for the friendships and camaraderies that we're building. I can't wait to see just how far we could take this because it's obvious that it matters what we think, which is a good thing. So definitely appreciate you guys for that. Thank you, Scotty, for setting all of this together. No matter what they say about you, Scotty, you are right with me.
And right quick before we move on, Terrence, I want to give you a big up because I was in your live this morning. He was able to reach a feat where I know Bondi has had this happen before, but he was actually able to get over 1,000 people in his live this morning. So definitely congrats to him for doing the damn thing.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, congratulations. I had my most that I've ever had in a live on my video for this as well. I think it was like 2,500 people in there at one time, which was the most I had ever had. So it was cool. So it's like, with the hate is good as well. So
Absolutely.
Oh, and I didn't say it before, but I really love y'all. Well, I did, but y'all know what I mean. I really appreciate y'all. I know we don't always agree, but I really do love all of y'all. And I love y'all perspective. And I'm glad Scotty asked me to do this because it's really been a pleasure to talk with y'all and meet with y'all. And like Josiah said, it is therapeutic. It really is. So, love y'all.
One thing before I go ahead and click in broadcast. The more of the story in regards to this panel and anything else that I do is unity. When Bundy and I were both coming up, that's just what we did when we were coming up on YouTube. We always shouted each other out. We always tried to do it. It was to send our subscribers to each other. That's just what it is. And like I said, the part of me doing this panel because as you can see, just about everybody up here, with the exception of Bundy, are smaller YouTubers. And I feel like you guys deserve to be seen. I feel like you are heard and people deserve to see what I see, which is greatness in all of you guys. And I would hope that with you guys getting to know me, that I'm probably humble. I try to see the best in everybody, and I only want to see people be the very best version of themselves. I want to see everybody do great things with themselves and their content. because that's really what this panel is all about. I really don't mind sharing my platform with anyone. Like, I really don't care about any of that. I'm all about unity and giving people a chance to be seen, give people a chance to say what they need to say, and all of that stuff. Because that's just the type of guy that I am. I'm always here to do I mean, I'm always here to do. I love each and every one of you. I'm just excited to see the friendships and relationships amongst us all grow. And one day we all gonna hang out. I can't happy. I just hope that Terrence don't pick fights with me the whole time we together, because I know that he is. But
Oh
it
my
is
God.
what it is. But yeah, once again, but once again, I love y'all, and I appreciate all of y'all. So with that being said, we'll see you guys next Monday, and we out of here, y'all. So peace out.